96.5 The Fan.
Right side throw, touchdown! Kansas! Kansas City wins the game!
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's CDOT.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited, thrilled, delighted to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. We have so much to get into. We are going to lead the show with baseball today, but not baseball related to the Kansas City Royals. We'll get to that coming up momentarily. My name is Carrington Harrison. Happy to be here. Rob Brenton is here as well, taking you up until 5:30 today. We'll move out of the way for the Kansas City Royals as they are playing the Milwaukee Brewers coming up later today. The Brewers are actually at the center of our opening conversation. Before we get to that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, as you listen to The Drive each day, every day at 2 o'clock. And number two, I need you to tell one friend. It'd be great if you could tell two friends, but you know what? If you could tell one friend to check out the show, you know what? I would greatly appreciate it. So, in baseball, all of the latest conversation is about these new torpedo bats. Over the weekend, we saw the Yankees absolutely on fire. I mean, they hit 9 home runs in their opening series, all with the torpedo bats. Aaron Judge used these. Jazz Chisholm used them. Anthony Volpe used them. Cody Bellinger used them. The Yankees used these things, and they pounded the Milwaukee Brewers. And everybody has an opinion on these new torpedo bats. Let me give you guys my opinion. So, if you missed it, this is essentially what we're discussing with the torpedo bat. It still meets all of the league-mandated regulations, and it has a barrel that has shifted approximately 6 inches closer to the batter's hands, where many players tend to make a majority of their contact. So essentially, we are talking about them redistributing the wood. This is not cheating. It still follows all of the mandates, but through analytics, they have determined where a large majority of players actually make contact with the ball, and they have put more wood in that spot. So that's what we are talking about. And people are, is this legal? Is this not legal? Let me weigh in. This is evolution of technology, and we have accepted this in every other sport. Why are we hesitant to accept this in baseball? We all watch football, right? We don't think that the gloves that Tyreek Hill is using in 2025, that they're the same gloves that Jerry Rice was using back in 1985. We acknowledge that the gloves today are a little bit different. They're different because technology has evolved throughout the course of the years. We don't believe that the cleats that Xavier Worthy is wearing in 2025 are the same cleats that Deion Sanders were wearing in 1995 or Bo Jackson were wearing when he was running over fools back in Auburn winning the Heisman Trophy. We acknowledge that the technology has improved and that it has gotten different. What makes this any different? Some of you are golfers. Your golf clubs, you've seen them change throughout your life. No one thinks that Tiger Woods is using the same drivers and clubs that Ben Hogan was using when he was dominating or Jack Nicklaus was winning. No, we acknowledge that technology has grown, evolved, and changed the sport, and now the rules have changed. If you were telling me that the bat is following all the mandated regulations, they're not cheating, this is simply a product of evolution, and the players have a choice on whether or not they want to use bat or not use it. I'm sitting here reading a story right now on MLB.com. Some of the players like the bats. Some of the players don't like the bats. Some of the players want to go with what they're accustomed to, what they feel familiar with, what feels normal to them. Perfectly fine. Some of the players are embracing it and is now spreading around the game of baseball. I don't think we have enough data yet at this point to determine one way or the other. I don't think we have a way of knowing whether or not this creates a significant advantage to the offense or not. I think we simply need to see it play itself out. I think this came into picture because the Yankees are just clearly so much better than the Brewers. And then you get a guy like Elly De La Cruz, who's one of the more exciting players in baseball, and he's off to an incredible start, and he's using this bat. But it's certainly going to be a copycat league. I'm reading this story right now. Quote, some guys have definitely tried them, but we haven't found anyone who has actually fell in love with them. If the Yankees keep hitting home runs with them, I'm sure we'll have more players give it a shot. Another American League club executive said that some of his players tested the bat, but none of them decided to use them in game. We tried them in spring training. Like anything, it's probably buy-in, and we're still getting used to it. Another American League executive thinks that these bats will become more popular in the short term, but whether they will become the norm remains to be seen. I understand the debate here. I understand the dialogue. I just think that this is a natural evolution of sport. And the game changes, the rules change, and more so than that, the technology around the game changes. The same way that it's changed for golf clubs, the same way that it's changed for gloves that you would use to play football or cleats to run faster and all of those things. I think the bat in Major League Baseball has potentially changed. And let's see what that technology means. In the end, baseball is still a swing and a miss game, and you got to do your best as a pitcher to make sure that you avoid the bat. And we'll see if pitchers can continue to do it. So I am for the torpedo bat. I also think it's something that we need to monitor to see what kind of effect that this has on Major League Baseball. But for the short term, I don't think we have enough information one way or the other to tell the players that they shouldn't be able to do it. And if you like it and it fits our guidelines, cool, you can use it. And then at the end of the season, we could determine if this is something that we think should continue on or we need to change the rules and regulations. That is a baseball decision to come up with. I'm on their side for now. I was thinking this as well, and I think this is also one of the top stories today. Today is April Fool's Day. Everybody's getting their jokes off. Everybody's getting their April Fool's Day jokes off, and that's perfectly fine. If you are an April Fool's joke individual and you got your little funny hee ha ha joke, cool. I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't do it. But this is the thing. I don't think we need April Fool's Day anymore. People do April Fool's jokes all the time. Where do we think the term fake news came from? Because at this point, it is hard to decipher what is actually real news and what's not. Rob, you and I are on social media. We're on Facebook. Half of the information I see on there is fake. It's attributing a fake quote to somebody. It's a fake product. It's a fake something. You and I are on Twitter. It is constantly fake trades and fake. You're always with your antennas up to see if something really happened or didn't happen. You got parody accounts that are popping up. NBA Centel, Arden Schefter, all of these different things. We're constantly on the lookout for April Fool's Day jokes. Now that they've become so commonplace and they become a part of the content ecosystem, I don't think we need April Fool's Day the way that we had it back in the day. You could really fool somebody in 1995. You could really fool somebody. You can't really fool me because even tomorrow, I'm still double and triple checking. I'm still going on the ESPN website. You got to keep your guards up today in social media climate, or you're going to retweet something and you're going to get duped. We've all been in this situation before. You see a graphic, you share it in your group chat, your friend tells you that this did actually not happen. Everybody has a laugh and everybody moves on. We are just so bombarded with fake information or parody information that we are constantly living in April Fool's Day. I don't think it needs to be relegated to one day anymore. So happy April Fool's Day to you and yours. If you were choosing to celebrate it, that is certainly well within your right. I'm not really much of an April Fool's Day. We don't have anything planned on this show. We're going to continue our same show as normal. I would just say, you got to be real good to get somebody today. You got to be real good. And I am a believer that April Fool's Day, usually you can tell who in your group is funny, who's got a little bit of creativity, and who doesn't. Who doesn't? Because some folks they're running the same April Fool's Day playbook they've been running for the last 5 to 6 years. You got to switch it up a little bit. This is the Tecmo Super Bowl where it only got 8 plays. You got to switch it up a little bit. Some of you haven't switched it up in a year. You got to really get after it if you want to try to dupe somebody on these days. Coming up on the other side, the NFL is changing a handful of rules. We'll talk about those changes, and the debate about the tush push moves on. Everybody wants to change the rules now. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's MJ Melendez from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education. But that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Baseball fans love the long ball, and FanDuel is giving you even more reasons to love home runs every Tuesday during the MLB season. Because with Dinger Tuesdays, all FanDuel customers get a home run profit boost. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winnings to new heights. So whether it's a big blast or an Oppo Taco, FanDuel is your home for betting home runs. Just visit FanDuel.com/Alex and gear up to go yard all season long. That's FanDuel.com/Alex to claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball and 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
When I started watching my favorite team as almost Andy Reid, I couldn't get out of the parking lot due to my new popularity. Renner Garage Door has an offer that's just as popular. $100 maintenance check to keep your door running smooth. Get a free replacement quote. Renner carries top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Family owned since 1956. Call or visit rennerdoor.com. Renner forward and back.
RENNER. This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, Spruce, Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text KING to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KING to 321-321. That's KING to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Hi, everybody. It's Brian Green from the Commercial Break Podcast. It's likely you've heard of the show if you're directly related to me or you follow our MySpace page. But I'm not here to talk to those 3 listeners. I'm here to appeal to people who haven't heard the show. Along with my co-host Kristen Joy Hoadley, we're taking a deeper look at the topics that are affecting our youth today. Like, who are the people who are dating ghosts? Where did all these pickup artists come from? And why doesn't my preacher have a nicer private jet? We understand that these are the issues you really want to get to the bottom of. The Commercial Break is now available on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Chiefs fans, it's Hollywood Brown. Welcome to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan. Coming up in about 30 minutes, we will head down to San Antonio to talk a little bit about the Final Four. This is the second time in the NCAA tournament that all 4 1 seeds have advanced to the final weekend of the college basketball season. Doing a little bit more reading on the torpedo bet. So early in the 2023 season, this is a story from Jeff Passan of ESPN, friend of the show. Aaron Learnhardt started asking New York Yankees hitters what they needed to perform better. He was a minor league hitting coordinator with the team and had seen batting average dip to the lowest point in half a century. So he was asking questions, and he is an MIT-educated physics professor and left academia to try to solve these problems. A baseball fan, I want to make baseball a better game, is when he started kind of reimagining the bat. Now, it follows all of the specs of Major League Baseball. It has to be a certain measure of inches, has to be a certain number of ounces, has to be a certain diameter, all of those things. And this is in line with what the players can use. This past weekend, the Yankees started using it. They hit a lot of home runs with it. 9 of those home runs out of the 15 they hit over the weekend came from the torpedo bat. Quick point about this, and we'll move on to the NFL rules. We cannot be so much in favor of technology around the sport and then have a problem when technology is used in the sport. I have been advocating for the long time, hey, maybe we've let technology go too far. But all we do is expand instant replay. Now we want to have robot umpires and have automated balls and strikes. Like, technology is interwoven in the fabric of sports at this point. And we are using technology at every single turn. And usually the response is, well, we want to get things right. How can we have access to all this technology and you don't want to get the calls right? All right, well, cool. If we're going to use the technology to get the calls right, then let's use the technology to make the players as good as we can make them and make them as good a hitters as they possibly can be. There is a little bit of an offense problem in Major League Baseball. We can go through the numbers. Batting average, down. On base percentage, down. Players don't put the ball in play the same way that they did 20, 25 years ago. And in some ways, I think you can argue that the pitching is ahead of the offense at this point. How do you level the playing field? How do you get more doubles back into the game? How do you get more triples back into the game? How do you get more home runs? How do you increase offense? If we're simply using technology to now give the offense an advantage, I don't have a problem with that. That sport, since the beginning of time, is using the technology in ways to make the sport better. We use it in television. We use it with the game. We use it around the game. I don't have a problem with them using it in the game. If you were telling me that baseball's collective bargained dimensions, your barrel size has to be a certain diameter, the length has to be a certain length, and you are not changing how much the bat weighs, and you simply just reimagine the bat, I don't really know how any baseball fan could have a problem with this. They're following the rules. It's just different than what you're accustomed to. The same way the drivers are different over the last 20 years, the same way that gloves are different, that's what's happening with the bat. I don't have much of a problem with what we are seeing right now with the torpedo bat, and I'm excited to see how this continues as more and more players are going to use it. More players are going to use it. Some players are going to use it and not like it and not feel comfortable because that's not what they've grown up with. But this thing is growing. It was a Yankees thing over the past weekend. It is now spreading around Major League Baseball. I think we're going to see a story at the end of the month, like 30% of Major League Baseball players, 40% of players have at least tried it at some point. Now, maybe that's not the case at the end of the season. We got a long way to go in the baseball season. Some players are going to be with it. Some players are not going to be with it. Some players are going to love it. And I imagine they're going to continue to try to make changes. This is the ultimate cat and mouse of sports. The offense is trying to stay ahead of the defense. The defense is trying to stay ahead of the offense. The pitching is trying to stay ahead of the hitting and vice versa. That's what you love about sports and the competition. And you were seeing that played at an incredibly high level right now in Major League Baseball. Let's take a little bit of break from baseball. We will get back to it here in a bit, but there were a handful of rules changes that just came down this week in the National Football League. All right, Rob, let's get to them.
I'm so happy you mentioned technology, because let's start there. The NFL has added expanded replay assist down the owners' meetings. Carrington, today, the owners approved the competition committee to add responsibilities to replay assist. It will now include reversing flags that are thrown for hits on defenseless players, along with fouls for face mask, horse collar, tripping, roughing, and or running into the kicker. Carrington, do you like replay assist is expanding in the National Football League?
No. I know what I just said about technology, but hear me, and this is not hypocritical. I would define defenseless different than many of you would define defenseless. Half the time, when we are determining defenseless, the offensive player was trying to make a catch, and the defensive player came in and hit him to try to stop him from making the catch. All we have done is come up with more and more ways, I think, to penalize the defense. These replay assist rules are not meant to level the game. They are used to normally penalize the defense and reward the offense for, in my opinion, playing good, clean football. I've thought this from the very beginning. With some of these hits and some of these rules, we got to start using some measure of common sense. We got to start using common sense when we're talking about targeting and defenseless receivers. And we are asking defensive players who run 4.4s, 4.5s in the 40s, we're asking them to do unnatural things with their body. Well, you got to keep your head up, but you got to dip your shoulder. You got to hit them in this perfect space. But if the offensive player moves, you still it's way too much. And what's going to happen with this instant replay is they're going to give us more questionable calls that ultimately, to me, put the defense in a very, very difficult spot where you are asking them to hit offensive players in these mythical boxes that just simply don't exist once you start playing football out with living people at these speeds.
I will say one thing of note here that I found interesting. They can reverse all these calls. However, those same replay officials cannot go back and add flags for missed calls. So if we have a hit on a defenseless receiver that went uncalled, tough break, so it goes, but we can then go back and remove the flag. It seems like a little bit of a moving target with the NFL replay assist rules.
Have we ever heard of the term keep it simple, stupid? The instant replay rules are not simple anymore. In fact, we keep adding rules to replay, which then once we get to the games, make the rules more and more confusing. Sometimes we don't know what a catch is. Sometimes we don't know what a hit is. Sometimes we don't know what's dirty, what's clean. And now we're expanding that. That's not what I would do. I would try to simplify instant replay and maybe go back to the rules that we had when we originally started. But at this point, I think we're just way too far down.
Carrington, another rule that has been approved by the competition committee down the owners' meetings. We now have a tweak to the dynamic kickoffs. Remember, we made the change from regular to dynamic kickoffs last season. This year, if there is a touchback on a kickoff, it'll be marked at the 35-yard line as opposed to 25-yard line. The idea is to prompt teams to increase in actual returns. Carrington, do you like the touchback being now at the 35 instead of 25 for the dynamic kickoff?
Sometimes I think that the NFL listens to this show because a lot of the ideas that I have on this show, ultimately, they happen. Roger Goodell, are you tapped in? You got to be tapped in. I was saying this. You can go back and check the tape. I said this after 2 weeks of seeing the rule. This is what they should do. Ultimately, we all want the same thing. We want more balls kicked into play for more chances at a return. Yes, a large majority of returns are probably going to be somewhere between the 20 and 25-yard line. Some are going to allow your special teams a chance to make a better play than that and put your defense in a good spot. But what we really want is an increase of exciting plays. Maybe you make a guy miss. Maybe you get a trick play on a kickoff. Maybe you run a kickoff back for a touchdown, which is one of the most exciting things that could happen in a football game. Yes, this is a good thing. Less touchbacks, more balls kicked into play, more action, more tackling, more running, more jumping, more jukes. Of course, that's what we want. Yes, this is a great rule. Now it really forces you to think. Before, you would just kick it out of the back of the end zone. I don't know if you're just purposely kicking out of the back of the end zone if it goes on the 35-yard line. I think now you have to be strategic about what you want to do to try to get down the field, try to make a play, and try to help your defense out. Yes, this is the perfect rule. I love what the NFL has done the last 2 off seasons with the kickoff.
It is worth noting the onside kick one was also tabled. So there is still discussion of improving onside kick probability, but that was tabled today at the owners' meeting. So for now, the only kickoff change we have is the touchback. All right, Carrington, the other rule that was approved today came via the Philadelphia Eagles, and that is we got changes to overtime in the regular season, although not really all that much of a change. The rules that they use in the postseason for overtime are coming to the regular season. Both teams will get an opportunity to possess the ball, but the overtime period will remain 10 minutes in length. So, Chiefs fans, you know this. First team gets the ball, they do whatever they want on their drive. Second team gets a chance as well. That rule is now in the regular season. Carrington, do you like the postseason overtime rules coming over?
I don't have any problem with this. I know you want me to have a strong opinion about this. I don't have a super strong opinion about it. I felt the last overtime rules for the regular season was fine. This rule is fine. I don't have much of an issue with it. I think the overtime rules are fair. You guys know my stance on the overtime. If you give up a touchdown, you should just lose the game. I don't care if you got a chance to touch the ball or not. If you give up a safety or if you give up a touchdown, you deserve to lose the game in overtime. Obviously, the league disagrees. They've decided to go in a different direction. I'm not against that rule. This is fine. This is fine.
You know what I'm psyched for? More games ending in ties and people getting mad. Because that's coming.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see too many more games that end in tie.
You'll see more. I looked it up today. You know the average time of possession, like the average length of a drive in the NFL is 5 minutes? If both teams score a touchdown in 5 minutes, you know what happens? Game over. Tie. Like, you're going to see more ties as a part of this, which is fine by me. I don't care. But that is coming to the National Football League.
Yeah, I think we're kind of overselling that just a little bit when you think about how many games there are over the course of an entire NFL season. I mean, we're talking about what? Probably 3 games a year at the most. I mean, we're talking about there's 272 NFL games. If you were telling me that 3 end in a tie, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Yeah, it's going to factor in when we get to playoff time. But if your tie in week 5 is why you made or missed the postseason, then other things happen throughout the course of the season. I don't care that much about it. I don't feel that up in arms about a potential tie. And that is the rules for today.
You don't want to talk tush push? It was tabled.
I was about to transition to the tush push. You read my mind. So, according to reports, there are 16 teams right now that are ready to vote against the tush push. From Jonathan Jones of CBS Sports, source: 16 teams are opposed to the rule that would ban the tush push. So 16 teams are with it, 16 teams are opposed to it. There will be much more conversations with many teams in favor of having the NFL's competition committee continue to study the play. I think this is pretty clear. A change is coming. Now, I don't believe that they are going to outright ban it. I don't think they are going to ban it. I do think the people that have the argument, wait, you are not allowed to push the ball carrier, I do think that those people ultimately are going to win out. You don't table this conversation if you are not at least interested in finding some kind of compromise for a play that, by definition, there's 32 teams in the league, 16 are for it, 16 are against it, is polarizing. I think you are tabling this conversation for 4 weeks, 6 weeks to try to find a compromise for everybody. Hey, some of you want to run this play. Some of you are good at running this play. Some of you don't want this play. What is something that we can sit down and agree to move forward? But I do think that if you are now saying that there's 16 teams and now you got to figure out a way to pick up 8 votes, I think the no side will be able to pick up 8 votes. I think the 16 teams, you're close enough to a general manager, you're close enough to an owner. Hey, if you vote for me on this one, I got you on the next thing that you want. We all know that favors are being passed. It's big business. It's like any company and how it runs. I do think that they are getting close to having enough votes that they will be able to get rid of this. And I'm guessing at some point in the middle of May, they will come down to an agreement that they will keep the tush push. It just will look fundamentally different than before, and it won't be as unstoppable as it feels with Philadelphia. Philadelphia will still be better at it than everybody else, but they will find a way to get the percentages where right now it's at, like 95%. If the Eagles run that play, they are getting a first down. They'll find a way to change it to make it a little bit more balanced and a little bit more fair because enough teams have screamed about it and said they don't want it anymore. That's how I think this thing ultimately ends up playing itself out. I do want to read something to you guys very quickly. So Andy Reid, he's at the owners meeting. They got owners there, coaches there. It's just another way for them to get together and talk about the upcoming NFL season. And he was talking about Isaiah Pacheco and that the Chiefs are still very optimistic in Isaiah Pacheco. I am still very optimistic when it comes to Isaiah Pacheco. But I think this is a very interesting statistic that goes along with I will continue to bang the drum for a running back. These were the teams that had the fewest 20-plus yard rushes from a running back in 2024. The Broncos had 4. The Saints and Raiders both had 3. The Chiefs and Rams both had 2 carries from running backs that went over 20 yards last season. Now, I know that Isaiah Pacheco was banged up and missed a significant amount of time. I know that that's not how people perceive Kareem Hunt to be. He is much more of your 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, short yardage back. And there's nothing wrong with that. Those carries are important too. The Chiefs need some explosiveness in their run game. I believe they'll get some of that explosiveness back because Isaiah Pacheco will, in theory, be healthy for the upcoming season. Let me knock on wood. I believe another way to get explosiveness from the run game is to draft an explosive running back. Oh, wait. Well, where can you find explosive running backs for cheap? Oh, yeah, coming up in 3 weeks. They got them. Rookie cost-controlled contracts. Go find one of them. They had 2 rushes over 20. You had no home run ability. You were the worst team in the league at having home run plays come from the run game last year. Go find you a home run hitter. Nobody's saying you got to find Aaron Judge in this analogy. Find you a Vinny Pasquantino. Find you somebody that can hit you 26 home runs. You don't need 60. You don't need Barry Bonds. No, find you somebody with a little bit of pop, a little bit of sizzle. That's what I want the Chiefs to continue to look for. Today is the first day of April. We are, 25 days, 24 days away from the start of the NFL draft. I will tell you guys this every day until they do it. Draft a running back. Get some explosiveness in the run game. You can help Patrick Mahomes a bunch of different ways. I see the text line. You guys tell me that protecting Patrick Mahomes is the number one priority. One of the ways to protect your quarterback is have him hand it off. You don't get sacked when you hand it off. You don't get hit when you hand it off as a quarterback. You transfer that hit to another player. That player is the one then that gets hit. It then keeps you fresh. It opens up the passing game. It opens up passing lanes for you. One of the ways to help protect Patrick Mahomes is to give him a viable and capable run game with some explosiveness that teams fear. They didn't have that last year. So last season, the Broncos had 4 rushes that went for 20-plus yards. The Saints and the Raiders both had 3. The Chiefs and the Rams were tied for last place with 2. With 2. They got almost 300 carries from running backs last year. 2 of them were home runs. No, that's not good enough. That's not good enough.
Every single time you read a stat about the running backs from last year, yards per carry, lack of home run hits, like whatever the stat is, it seems like every single stat points to Kareem Hunt was not very good last year for the Chiefs. Like the numbers indicate he was not very good. So if they need more home run, if they need more explosion, why did they bring back their primary running back from 2024? Because Elijah Mitchell, okay, he's often injured, but when healthy, he shows a little home run ability. Isaiah Pacheco, I'm sure we pulled the home run stats from 23 and 22. When he was healthy, he was better at that. He was also better at yards per carry than Kareem Hunt. It just, and I'm not trying to run down Kareem Hunt. I think he was important for the Chiefs needed last year. They needed a human body, and he filled it and was a positive for the team. But every stat you read about, we need more explosiveness, we need better run product. Like everything you say points to, why did they bring Kareem Hunt back? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Pacheco has a history of getting injured. You still have the draft, which is the deepest running back draft we've seen in a long time. You bring in Isaiah Mitchell. Are they going to carry 4 running backs in 2025? It just seems like as time goes on, I get more and more head scratching about why did they bring Kareem Hunt back?
Yeah, I'm with you. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me as well. It is a little bit confusing why they did that. I'm going to hold off just a little bit. I want to see how things play themselves out. I'm not going to make a decision until we find out one way or the other. Someone on the text line 913-586-7965. C-Dot, I'm not against running back depth. I just don't think we need a home run hitter. What is the likeliness that we draft a Saquon Barkley? There are other I don't know why we do this with players. No, I don't think the Chiefs need the best running back in the NFL. Saquon Barkley averaged 5.8 yards per carry. Their number 1 running back averaged 3.6 yards per carry. There's numbers in the middle between those. There's numbers in the middles. Draft James Conner. James Conner last year ran for over 1,000 yards, ran for 4.6 yards per carry, and had 8 touchdowns last year. They can't find James Conner? He ain't Saquon Barkley. He's also significantly better than Kareem Hunt. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you got to go out in free agency and spend $12 million a year on a back and have the best back in the league. The Chiefs don't have a top 25 running back on their team. Can they find one? Because I assure you, there's multiple backs that at the end of the season we'll look at as a top 25 running back, and they'll be in this year's draft class. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. They can't go draft Aaron Jones. There will be multiple running backs in this year's draft class better than Alvin Kamara. Multiple aside from the 2 guys that I think are going to go in the first round. Draft one of them. That's it. That's my only point. We don't got to spend all day talking about running backs. It's that simple. Again, you don't need to go get Aaron Judge. Find Vinny Pasquantino. No one has ever confused Vinny Pasquantino with Aaron Judge, but he's a good home run hitter. He might hit 30 home runs this season. Aaron Judge might hit 60, but Vinny might hit you 30. He might get you 105 RBIs, 107 RBIs. Find that player. That player has a lot of value. That's what I want the Chiefs to do. That's it. That's it.
Hell, find Isaiah Pacheco. Rookie year Isaiah Pacheco would be the best running back on this team. Like, that's a 900-yard back? Yeah, sign me. You don't need to find Ashton Genty. Just find better. And you know what? When you find better, play him, because it doesn't look like there's a lot of space right now on the roster.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. Someone on the text line, 913-586-7965. Bucky Irving was drafted in the late rounds and was the top 10 running back last year. Exactly. Find Kyron Williams. Find Blake Corum. I'd be cool with that. I'd be thrilled. Be thrilled if the Chiefs had Blake Corum on their team. Would love it. That's it. That's all you got to do. Draft him. Great. Coming up on the other side, I want to read to you guys a story that affects all of us, that doesn't address the main problem. We'll also talk about the Final Four, which is coming up in a couple of days, and this is one of the best Final Fours that we have ever seen. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Entry Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
At Busey Bank and CrossFirst Bank, we're partnering to help make your business visions become realizations. Through securing capital for growth, cash flow management, and comprehensive strategies that ensure a prosperous future. Because thriving businesses mean thriving people and thriving communities. Together, we're building extraordinary impact in business, wealth, and community. Busey Bank and CrossFirst Bank. Member FDIC.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My name is Brian. I've lost 42 pounds on Awaken 180. I went from a size 40 to a 36. I went from a 48 jacket. I bought a suit the other day, 44. And they took me off 3 meds, including blood pressure. It's not really a diet. It's a lifestyle change. I actually had a steak the other night. I had asparagus, and I had a piece of cake. And that's the week I lost 5.8 pounds. So you know what? If you think you can, you can. I feel like a young man again. Energy levels popping because I'm doing 14 to 16,000 steps Monday through Friday. Awaken 180 is my solution for weight loss. Go get it.
Thanks, Brian. Hey, guys, it's Cody Tapp, and I'm reaping the same benefits. Down over 20 pounds in just 4 weeks, thanks to Awaken 180's at-home program. Increased energy, no medication, the benefit of endless when you did what Brian did. Look, I'm doing what 25,000 other people have done. Make the call to the solution for weight loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com or give them a call. 844-346-1800.
Baseball fans love the long ball, and FanDuel is giving you even more reasons to love home runs every Tuesday during the baseball season. Because with Dinger Tuesdays, all customers get a home run profit boost token. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winning to all new heights. So whether it's a big blast or an oppo, FanDuel is your home for betting home runs. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and gear up to go yard all season long. So every Tuesday, pick your favorite player to hit a home run. Doesn't matter if it's Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge. The decision is yours. Use my promo code KFNZ to claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable profit boost. Token restrictions apply, including any token expiration and match wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreements. Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Catchy tune, right? But don't let the urge to sing along distract you from the truck drifting towards your lane, or that lane-splitting biker creeping up beside you. Fortunately, every Hyundai offers advanced safety features that can alert you to potential dangers around you. And Hyundai has over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. Because Hyundai is always working to ensure the road doesn't... Hyundai vehicles have won over 120 IIHS Top Safety Awards from 2006 to 2024.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. Here's the best part. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Not happy? They'll come back between visits to make it right. Don't wait. Head to truegreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Ow! Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Thy ticket, Lady Jennifer of Coolidge.
Well, many thanks, good sir. Here'th my Discover card.
They accept Discover at Renaissance fairs?
Yeah, they do here. Discover's accepted at the places I love to shop. Getteth with the times.
With the times? You're playing the lute.
Yeah, and it sounds pretty good, right?
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report.
This afternoon, expect a temperature of 65 with a slight chance of rain showers.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
Welcome to your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Let's put a bow on this conversation. There was a tweet earlier today from Field Yates of ESPN. He was going through the fewest rushes of 20-plus yards from running backs in 2024. The Broncos had 4. The Saints and Raiders had 3. The Chiefs only had 2 rushes from a running back that went over 20 yards. Someone texted in, C-Dot, I don't prioritize running back the way that you do. I'd rather grab an undrafted back, but if they draft positions of need first, I don't have any problem with them rolling the dice on a back. Sometimes I think that you guys are in a challenge to see how good Patrick Mahomes can be with the fewest resources possible. It blows my mind. You guys don't ever want to give Pat good players. I don't understand it. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one that fights this fight. Like, hey, you know what? Maybe they should spend a second-round pick on a running back. That guy might end up being really good. Hey, maybe they should go get Sam Laporta. I feel like sometimes I'm the only person that really wants them to put pieces around Patrick Mahomes from a skill position standpoint. Someone else texted in. Come on, C-Dot. You got to start talking about the numbers of Patrick Mahomes with Eric Bieniemy versus with Matt Nagy. Eric Bieniemy versus Nagy. Any running back that you wanted with Bieniemy versus Nagy, you want an explosive offense where you better start showing the numbers. You guys keep ignoring the elephant in the room. We've talked about this plenty of times. I'm happy to talk about it today. I just see this differently than you guys. I'm not saying that I'm the biggest Matt Nagy fan in the world, but when Eric Bieniemy was the offensive coordinator, they had prime Tyreek Hill and prime Travis Kelce. I think that explosive plays come from explosive players and explosive pieces around them. That, yes, the Chiefs have the quarterback, but if you have a running back who was 47th last year in yards per carry and your number one wide receiver last year was a rookie and your tight end is clearly on the downside of his career, I think it limits the amount of explosiveness that you can have in your offense. So, I'm not saying that Eric, maybe you think that Bieniemy is better than Matt Nagy. That's perfectly fine. I'm cool with that. The Patrick Mahomes that won MVPs had dynamic players around him. The last MVP he had the greatest tight end that we've ever seen before on his team, playing at a still relatively high level. The first time that he won MVP, he had Kareem Hunt on his team, prime Travis Kelce, and prime Tyreek Hill. You had a great quarterback. You put him with great weapons. He put up great numbers. It is just not a surprise to me that the numbers from Patrick Mahomes have been the worst that they've been in his career. And worse is obviously relative. He's still an incredible player, but he's put up less and less offensive production as the pieces around him. This season, he had the worst running game of his career. He had the worst running game of his career and the worst version of Travis Kelce in his career. And possibly the worst offensive line that he had this year. I'm not surprised that Patrick Mahomes struggled at times if you were in that environment. Situation. Man, Brock Purdy looked really good when you had Trent Williams and Christian McCaffrey and a healthy Brandon Ayuk, and you put him around dogs. When you took the dogs away, you saw him for what he was. Now we're seeing this on a much higher scale. Patrick Mahomes used to have dogs around him. He used to have dogs. He ain't got dogs right now. There's a chance for you to go get dogs in 23 days. In 23 days, there's a draft. Draft you a couple of dogs. You get back a healthy Rashee Rice at some point this season. I don't believe he's going to miss the whole year. He'll play this year. Xavier Worthy's healthy for this upcoming season. Draft you a couple of young offensive pieces, and let's see how the offense can bounce back potentially. But, if you look at a lot of the numbers, when you look at Mahomes on the deep ball, you look at their ability to run the ball last year, their offense has taken a pretty big dip. I think a lot of it is just the weapons and parts that they've put around Patrick Mahomes. Let me read to you this story really quickly, Rob, because I know you and I are two people that enjoy going to the movie theaters, and I imagine that many of you also enjoy going to the movie theaters. This story was in the New York Post. It says that movie theaters are trying everything to bring audiences back, from pickleball to cocktail bars. Let me read to you some of the quotes. Quote, "We need to find a way to get people back into the habit of going to the theaters. We can't stay stuck in a 100-year-old way of doing business. That's just not going to work anymore. The pandemic made us realize that we need to diversify. We can't simply rely on studios to provide for us to drive our business. That's why we have invested in pickleball and cocktail bars in our lobby. We want people to come to see this place as a multi-entertainment center." This was the CEO of a movie theater. And then they were suggesting some ideas. They were suggesting they want a movie screening that you can use your phone openly, that everybody can be on the phone. They wanted to have more sing-alongs. You know, you go see Wicked, usually you want people to be quiet. Shh. They want you to be able to sing your little heart out and dance in the aisles. They even suggested in some places, they were going to have it where you can blaze up at the movie theater. Hey, you go see Avengers and you want to bring your little sticky icky ooh-wee. Hey, it's cool to do that. I don't know about you guys. I don't want any of those things when I go to the movie theater. The only thing I want the movie theater to do is charge less. That's it. Now, I can't speak for everybody listening, but I assume a large majority of you, one of the reasons you don't go to the movie theater maybe as frequently as you want to is because of how expensive it's gotten. You want to take your wife and you want to take your 2 kids. All right, that's $13 a ticket. All right, so 13 times 4, what we at, 52? All right, now Susie wants something to drink. Your son Dylan wants some popcorn and he wants something to drink. Your wife wants some candy. All right, you got to go there. All right, you done now spent $70 on snacks. Before you even sat down to watch Shrek 5, you're already into it for $120. I don't want to sing along with you guys. No. All I want you to do is charge less. Rob, I read this entire story from top to bottom. At no point in here did it acknowledge maybe people aren't going to the movie theaters, not because we also want to go bowling. Maybe I don't want you on your phone when I'm trying to watch the movie. That would, in fact, keep me from watching the movie, is that all of you are on your phone. I simply want you to charge less. That's it. I don't want to spend $11 for this bag of popcorn and then $9 for an icy and then $14 to sit here. I don't want to do that, especially when now you don't have to wait that long to see the movie. Let's say you really want to go see a movie that comes out this weekend. Let's say the movie comes out this weekend. It debuts on April 4th. Now in 2025, that movie will be available at home for you by the 18th. So if you miss it the first weekend, it's not that big of a deal. Honey, let's just wait 2 weeks. We can watch it here. It's going to be significantly cheaper for us to watch it. And we got snacks at home. We can go get Chipotle. Hey, babe, why don't you go in the wine cellar? Why don't you go get you a bottle of wine? Let's bust it open here and let's watch the movie. All we want as the consumer is for you to stop charging us so much for the movies. If I wanted to smoke during the movie, I would stay at home and watch the movie. I don't want to be in your movie hot box. This seems so simple to me. How do these people get in these positions? Man, we're trying to find ways, charge less. More people would come if you charged less. That's all we want. I don't think I'm asking too much. I don't think that's it.
Also,
I really don't think that's it.
Also, I'm fine with ingenuity. I'm fine with creativity. Didn't the movie theater try this? Like, in the whole idea of what's the name of the thing on AMC does it, where it's like the dine-in theater?
Yeah, screen and fork or something like that. Yeah.
People that hasn't brought people back to the theater in droves. One of our favorite theaters in town, Prairie Fire, me and my wife, they used to have these like couches you could watch the movie on. I'm not going to pay to sit on a couch to watch a movie. I'll do that at home. Charge less. Keep movies in theaters for a longer time. That Novocaine movie with Jack Quaid, I thought that was kind of interesting. It's on streaming right now. They have to pay for it on streaming, but one payment of $16.95 is cheaper than two $12 tickets. And let's say we want to get 2 beers. Now I'm out $60 to watch the same movie I can wait 2 weeks at home. Keep movies in theaters longer. charge less for snacks and drinks, and people will come back. Look at Kauffman Stadium. You know what people like? The value pricing day. You want to know why? They don't feel like they're getting hit over the head for something that costs the same amount.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I maybe disagree with people. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, they need to make movies like Superbad again, and this problem will take care of itself. That's all. Make good movies again. I actually think there's a lot of good movies. What I think has happened is because of the price increases, we don't take chances on movies anymore. Let me take a movie like Paranormal Activity, for example. I know you're not a big scary movie fan. Paranormal Activity was a very, very popular movie, right? I don't know if America would go see that movie today. I think America would look at it and say, I'll just wait till it's on Peacock. I'll wait till it's on Netflix. Now, I think people would watch it on Netflix. It would be really popular. It would spread word of mouth, and then people would go see the sequel. I think that Hollywood actually still makes a lot of really good movies. I don't think America is interested in going to the movie theater for something they don't know right now. I think it's just too much. If you're going to tell me that it's $80 every time I go see a movie, I'm going to see a movie I know. I'm going to see Jurassic Park. I'm going to see a movie that I feel is enhanced by me going to the movie theater. So you got to go see the new Avengers movie. You got to go see the new Marvel movie. You got to see Jurassic Park. You got to go see Fast and the Furious there. I'm not taking a chance on your romantic comedy. Yeah, like today, if they made Superbad, America would not go. America would go maybe for the first weekend. They would not go for the second weekend, and then they'd wait to go watch it on streaming, and then everybody would love it once it was available on Hulu. I just don't think people take chances at the movie theater, and I can't really encourage you to take a chance on a movie theater when all you got to do, if you want to go see that movie with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney, it's on Netflix. You don't got to go see it. What was the movie with Jennifer Lawrence? Well, a very, very funny movie.
No Hard Feelings.
Yeah.
And Anyone But You was the Sydney Sweeney one.
Why go see it at the movie theater when they're going to put it on Netflix in 45 days anyway? That's the biggest problem with the movie right now, in my opinion. All right, we'll get back to very serious sports things coming up at the top of the hour. I have an opinion that I'm not sure if it's going to be too popular, but it is something that I feel. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Tuesday, April 1st is April Fuels Day. Earn a 25-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend. Not kidding. Earn a 25-cent fuel saver for every $40. Tuesday, April Fuels Day at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
Calling all college hoops fans. Make your next bet during March matchups at BetMGM go even further with an odds boost token. Simply add any tournament bet to your bet slip and activate your odds boost token. If that bet hits, you'll walk away with a higher payout. For a tournament full of unforgettable moments, BetMGM is your sports book for all of it. Enjoy same-game parlays, original bets you won't find anywhere else, player props, and so much more during March matchups. And when there's a break in the tournament action or you're looking to switch things up, check out daily promotions and offers for all your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance at a bigger March matchup score with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are issued as tokens. Expiry varies per round. Please read full terms for full details. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text KING to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KING to 321-321. That's KING to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
This hour on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Results every week and then receive free support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Kansas City, this is Michael Massey. Listen to the play-by-play all season long with Denny, Jake, Ryan, and Stu right here on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Now, I don't know if this opinion is sacrilegious, and I'm not having this opinion to troll. I'm not having this opinion to be on anybody's bad side. That's not how I feel. This take comes from a legitimate, genuine place, I promise you. No April Fools. I think the Royals wear the powder blue uniforms too much. Now, let me explain. I love the powder blues. I imagine you love the powder blues. You can't love the Royals. You can't love Kansas City if you don't love the Royals and the powder blue unis. But they're wearing them on the road against the Brewers? No. That's not what the powder blues are supposed to be. The powder blues are like when you got a crisp pair of white Air Force Ones. You can't wear the white Air Force Ones every day. They'll get dirty, and then they'll lose the aura behind them, the riz, as the kids would say. No, you got to pull out the white Air Forces for that special occasion. That's what the powder blue uniform should be. Opening day, yes, you wear those powder blue uniforms. The Royals get on Sunday Night Baseball. Yeah, you pull out your powder blue uniforms. It should be a special thing. It should be oh snap, the Royals are wearing the powder blues. They can't just be a everyday game. You have a day game 2-3 times a week. No, wear your regular blue uniforms. Wear your regular white unis, and you pull out that powder blue when it's something special. I don't want the Chiefs to wear the red on red all the time. No, you got to pull out that red on red for a big occasion. This year, the Eagles are coming to town, right? Super Bowl rematch. That's when you pull out the all red unis for that 325, for that Sunday night, for that Monday night football game. That's when you pull out the throwbacks. That's when you pull out the special uniforms. I think the Royals wear the powder blues too much. They wear it for everyday game. Doesn't matter if it's home or road. No, they should never wear the powder blue unis on the road. They should only be for us at home. Make them kind of like how the Lakers do with those white uniforms. We only wear them Sunday. Those are your Sunday best uniforms. You only wear them on Sunday. That's how the powder blue uni should be.
So you're way off base here, and here's why. Because the Royals should wear this as much as possible, because we should be honest about the Royals' hierarchy of jerseys. Number one, I still think is that home white. That home white's a great look.
I like those uniforms.
Home white's incredible. 2 is the powder blue jersey. 3 is the blue top. Punched in the face is number 4. The gray top is the worst thing they have. That gray top jersey is trash. And the less they wear that, the better. You know how in the NCAA tournament, Adidas and Nike every year come out with like special, hey, march to the Final Four jerseys?
Those highlight unis.
Never wear those. Wear the ones you like. So you know what? If it means less gray in my life, sign me up for more powder blue. I don't care about the team. I don't care about the time. Don't wear bad jerseys. Wear good jerseys. And the powder blue with that hat specifically, fire. Wear it all the time.
You know what? I'd be perfectly fine with them branching out and wearing more unis. I like their City Connect uniforms. I like the City Connect unis. I'd be perfectly fine if for one homestand they went back and they turned the clock back like it was 2005 and they were wearing the old Jason Grimsley uniforms. You know the ones that I'm talking about. I'm talking about wearing the Ken Harvey throwbacks. I'd be perfectly fine if they wear those, but the powder blues are special. It's like the Mizzou unis with the block M or KU with the circus font. No, you got to pull those out for the right game. You got to pull those out for the right uniforms.
I will say, KU went circus font full time last year.
Yeah, look what happened.
I don't think the circus font led to the failures. The circus font wasn't having Hunter Dickinson not defend for 40 minutes. Doesn't Mizzou go block M full time now in basketball?
I actually don't want them to do that. You know what I want them to go block him? I want them to do that when KU comes into town. I want them to do that when Kentucky comes into town. I want them to do it once, twice a year. I want it to be exciting. I don't want it to be an every game uniform. No. Special. Pull it out during a special moment, a special occasion. That's how I would handle it. That's what I think they should do.
Text line is saying that Ryan yesterday on the broadcast said that they're the full road game jersey this year. So you'll see the powder blue 81 times.
Yeah, they're wearing it today against the Brewers.
Yeah, because it's a special occasion when you beat down on a bad team.
Yeah, they're wearing them today against the Brewers. Shout out to the Brewers. The Brewers are absolutely.
When you're facing the New York Giants of baseball, you gotta look tight.
No, you gotta have your pearly whites on when you're wearing the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's keep talking a little bit of baseball. Here's Jeff Passan talking about the torpedo bats. This has become the top story in baseball.
And I heard from pitchers, and they said, I don't like this. And it's interesting because for so long, Brian, the game has been tilting more toward the pitching side, especially when it comes to the use of technology. You can put a pitcher in a lab now, and he can design a new pitch over a weekend and implement it in games. Whether it's a changeup, a slider, whatever it is, they've figured out on the pitching side how to iterate and how to maximize themselves. And hitters have been searching for a similar thing for a long time now. And this may just be a first step. This isn't going to be adopted by everyone in the game, but it illustrates that technology can help hitters as well.
That was Jeff Passan earlier today. He was on the Get Up. I think what he said there at the end is the most important thing of it, is that the technology of all of this can now help the offensive players. The technology of it can help offense. I'm all in favor of that. I'm all in favor of the game evolving. All sports evolve. And if you were telling me that this bat, it's new, a handful of teams are using it, a handful of players are using it, and we are trying to figure out what this means for the sport, great. And now it's the cat and mouse game. It's can pitchers stay ahead of the hitters and vice versa. I'm perfectly fine with it. In fact, I'm happy that we're talking about baseball in the early part of the season and what's happening on the field. I'm happy that so many people care about this story. Now, I think some of it is the fact that the Yankees were the ones that had the most success with it, and that's a team that obviously drives conversation and drives discussion, but who cares? The fact that we are having this and people are interested in the bats that they are using, this is a good story. This is a good baseball story. Yes, give me more of this. I am excited to see it today. I am excited to see how all of this works. I'm really, really excited to see this. What happens with the torpedo bats. That was Jeff Passan. That audio was courtesy of ESPN's Get Up. So, really quickly, before we take a break here, we're actually going to head to Lawrence, Kansas here coming up in a bit, learn a little bit more about their recruiting. Is they have had a handful of guys that have gone on and hit the transfer portal. Let's talk about the top story, one of the top stories in the National Football League. It comes courtesy of Netflix. So Netflix, you guys know, they have made the deal for Christmas Day games. So there are going to be 2 Christmas Day games on Netflix. And this year, Christmas is on a Thursday, so Amazon, they want their Christmas Day game as well. So there are going to be 3 games on Christmas coming up this upcoming season. There's going to be a game, and it's basically going to be like Thanksgiving. That's probably the best way to explain it. The Thanksgiving schedule that we have is going to be the Christmas Day schedule as well, where we have 3 games. Rob and I were going back and forth about this before the show, and I know the stance that I've taken on streaming, and ultimately, I think they are using the streamers to figure out more and more ways to dip into our pocket. I don't have a problem with them using Netflix, though. Netflix, to me, is different than putting a game exclusively on Peacock. Some of us have been having Netflix on streaming for a decade now. It's by far and away the most popular streamer. A majority of people either have Netflix or have direct access to Netflix. I don't think that's the same as putting your games on Peacock or Paramount Plus. I think that's different. To me, you have then created a streaming service that now you are not getting a lot of traction, and now you want me to exclusively sign up for it. I think that's different than what's happening with Netflix. Maybe I'm parsing it just a little bit, and I can live with the perceived hypocrisy about this, but most of us got Netflix. So I don't have any problem with the NFL doing this deal with Netflix. Last year, I don't think it was that big of an issue. It worked. It ain't like how it was for that Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight where that thing was running on. That was some net zero Juno internet. That was an embarrassment. That's not what happened last Christmas. If Netflix is going to keep pumping the money the way that they did for last year, where they had Mariah Carey singing and Beyonce had a halftime show and they got Shabuzi and Post Malone, hey, I'm cool with whatever they got going on. A majority of us already have Netflix, and based on Amazon Prime, a lot of people have access to Amazon Prime. I don't have much of a problem with the NFL doing this. Last year, I think it was different because they were asking players to play on a day they usually don't play. Having them play on a Thursday is not abnormal at this point. The players are used and accustomed to playing on a Thursday. I don't have that much of an issue with them basically taking the Thanksgiving model that we already have that works for everybody, and then them now using this on another Thursday and using this for Christmas. I'm actually on their side with this one.
The Thursday part, actually, I agree with you. That doesn't bother me. They're not putting games on a Wednesday. We're not having to put a game on Saturday, but the Thursday part's fine. But Carrington, I was here when you were on your rant about Peacock. We're now going to have a full day of holiday games unavailable on over-the-air television. I'm here every day when the text line tells me that that's why the NFL is king. They put all their stuff on over-the-air television. None of their games on Christmas will be available unless it's one of your local teams. And it's different than Thanksgiving.
Let's be fair, though.
Thanksgiving, CBS, Fox, and NBC.
I'm
this
with you,
is
though.
Netflix Prime.
I'm with you, though, but let's be fair, and I will defend the NFL here. I bet you more people have Netflix than have ESPN at this point. If we are going off the amount of people that have cable and the amount of people that have access to Netflix, I bet you Netflix has more people at this point. So you already put games behind a paywall that are not available on regular over-the-air television. The Super Bowl's about to be on ESPN coming up in 2 years. I just looked it up because I was curious. Netflix has around 67 million subscribers just in the United States. So, and I don't even know how they're factoring that in, because I would assume, like me, I am a Netflix subscriber. My mom isn't, but my mom uses my account, so we end up like, I don't know how that counts in terms of it. A majority of people have access to Netflix. Like, I would say a majority of people have access to ESPN. Like, we don't complain when they put the national championship game in college football on ESPN. At this point, it's just part of what we signed up for. I think that's a lot different than signing up for Peacock.
I feel like it's far. I think you're rationalizing because everyone, you feel like Peacock is one, not Peacock, excuse me, Netflix one we all have, but they are putting and you know the NFL, there's going to be good games on Christmas.
For sure, 100%.
This isn't going to be your Cardinals and Giants Thursday night game. This is going to be big games, and they are hiding them behind 2 paywalls, 2 different streaming services. So if you want to watch these games, and we don't know if it's going to be the Chiefs or not, I would bet the Chiefs are one of them, but we don't know for sure.
I would just guess. I'm just spitballing here. I would be surprised if the NFL did not put the Chiefs on Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Or Black Friday.
I'm saying those are just 2 and 3 massive days for the league. You are not putting one of your marquee teams. They're going to be in one of those windows. One of those windows, the Chiefs are going to be a part of it, so I'm with you.
I'm just saying, if the Chiefs aren't, and you are an NFL fan, You're going to have to fire up Netflix and then get out of Netflix, close that app, and fire up Amazon Prime to watch NFL games on Christmas Day with the family. It feels like I sit here and have people tell me in the text line, oh, over the air is why the NFL's king, and why don't more people go over the air? The NFL's doing less and less over the air on a premium day for their product, and it seems like people are, we just rationalize when the NFL does it, but if the NBA was doing this, if this news story came across 5 years ago that ESPN Plus and Disney Plus would have their games, people would be in an uproar. But the NFL does it, and we celebrate.
Well, I just would like to point out that next year's Eastern Conference Finals of the NBA will be on Amazon Prime. Like, I'm with you in some of the regards. Maybe at this point they have just beaten me up so much about this. At this point, it is either a get with it or get lost. All of the sports leagues that we follow have told us they believe this is the future. They believe that they have a hybrid model. They believe that over the air is really important. They believe that CBS is important, that Fox is important. They also believe that Netflix and Hulu are also important. And at this point, you either sign up for it or don't. But the money has been paid in this. I mean, the amount of money that Netflix paid $30 million for one NFL game. The NFL is not turning that money down. Coming up in about 10 minutes, we'll head out to Lawrence, Kansas to find out a little bit more about KU and the transfer portal. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fellas, are you feeling sluggish, maybe a bit tired, or just not feeling like yourself? Maybe your workouts aren't producing the results that they used to, and you're not getting that great quality sleep. If you're noticing changes, then it could be low testosterone. Low T affects more than just your energy levels. It can impact everything from your workout performance to the intimacy in your relationship. Well, here's some great news. Heartland Men's Health is here to help you. It's simple to get started. Take a quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com to see if you might have low T. Then schedule a $99 consultation where you'll get lab work and results in just 30 minutes. And if you sign up for treatment, then your visit is free. Don't wait any longer. Feel like yourself today. Call Heartland Men's Health, your partner in better health. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website, heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's
Buckle
Health.
up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together. So close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts. Beer. And barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education. But that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Attention car shoppers, Kevin Harlan here with Rob Seid of Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City. Hey Rob, what's going on?
We are making 2025 the best year in Rob Seid Ford history, and we are doing it with 4 simple steps.
Simple is what I love most about Rob Seid Ford. So Rob, what's the plan?
It starts with Rob Seid Ford's non-commissioned sales staff, Kansas City's lowest prices on brand new Fords, the best trade-in values, the biggest selection we've ever had. With those 4 steps, it is my personal mission to make Rob Seid Ford the easiest, most value-driven Ford dealership in Kansas City. No BS.
That's why Rob Seid Ford is the only dealership I'll send my friends and family to. But you're forgetting one thing.
What's that?
Rob Seid Ford is Kansas City's top-rated Google Ford dealership.
Good call. Can't forget about that. Check out Rob Seid Ford in South Kansas City at 135th and State Line, ROBSIGHT.com.
And Doug. Quickly, Moo. We don't have much time. This Liberty ad is already almost over. We only have a few precious seconds to remind people to customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Okay. Well, I guess we had more time than I thought.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
I'm Brian Tedesco, CEO of Blaupunkt Americas, the pioneers of the car stereo. Today, we're not just about sound systems. We are revolutionizing the e-bike scene with Blue Dot Bike. Thanks to AmericanEagle.com, our online presence now features a dynamic e-commerce website that showcases the quality and affordability of our foldable e-bikes. And our collegiate e-bikes, just perfect for the college fanatic. These e-bikes offer a new way to experience freedom on two wheels, no matter your age. When we needed a top-notch website to match our cutting-edge e-bikes, we turned to AmericanEagle.com. They made the impossible seem easy, tackling digital challenges like pros. Check out the Blue Dot Bike website to see AmericanEagle.com's amazing work in action. Need the best in website and digital marketing solutions? AmericanEagle.com is your go-to. They've been a game changer for us, and they can be for you too. Visit AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB-NOW-1. That's 877-WEB-NOW-1.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park and Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Step up to the plate and hit a home run with Casey's best airport parking. It's Park and Go. Great service, low price, zero hassle, open 24/7, and all spots are covered. Don't get caught looking. Strike three. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash eastbound 70 at 27th Street. Now on the shoulder, seeing slowdowns behind it, and northbound 71 closed past 22nd Street, getting that collision out of the way as well. Soon to be reopened. We will keep you posted. And a stalled out car southbound 435 on the Kansas side, the exit to Shawnee Mission Parkway. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Patrick Mahomes joins CDOT every week during the season, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
This is very, very interesting. Coming up in just a bit, we're going to be joined by Michael Swain, who covers the Kansas Jayhawks. We're going to get his thoughts on what's happening with KU. From Tom Pelissero. According to Tom Pelissero, Roger Goodell is addressing the media. Roger Goodell said that NFL players have reached out to him directly with an interest of playing flag football in the 2028 Olympics, and that he expects to have a resolution to this in the next 60 days. The NFL is also getting bids on a pro flag league, expects progress soon. Let's talk about the Olympics part of it. I'm actually really surprised that the NFL would let the players do this. The Olympics is in August. They're getting ready for the season in August. I'm really surprised that the NFL would let Justin Jefferson in August stop playing for the Vikings to go play flag football against a random country. Now, on one side of it, maybe I shouldn't be that surprised because the NFL's clearly shown you an international mission, and I can't really think of anything more international than the Olympics. So maybe this is, hey, this is our opportunity to put football on the absolute biggest stage. It's in our country. We're going to send players to go play flag football. Who are the other countries that you think could even qualify for this thing? Who else could be good in this thing? I mean, we can go through the teams or the players for the United States. I mean, I don't even think it matters who they would send over there for the United States team because their team would just be so overwhelmingly the favorite. What other countries could compete with the United States in flag football? There's enough players from around the world to make this thing a real, true competition. So I'm just surprised that the NFL would allow its players to participate in this when it's not going to be competitive and just the injury risk associated with it. Can you imagine the conversation if a star defensive back hurt himself playing flag football in the Olympics against Egypt, and now your NFL season is ruined because he just twisted his knee and is out for the first 6 weeks because he was playing both ways? I'm actually really surprised the NFL is even considering this and thinking about allowing the players to participate in the Olympics. Where do you stand on this, Rob?
I mean, so I don't get it from the NFL perspective. As a fan and as the Olympics, it makes total sense. Why would we have – remember that story last year where the flag football player for Team USA said he was better than Patrick Mahomes? Remember that? We talked about that for a little bit, and everyone's found his, throwing motion, and that's just nonsense to think that he's better than Patrick Mahomes. So, from the Olympics and NBC and, as a fan perspective, yeah, I want to see Patrick Mahomes throwing darts to Justin Jefferson on flag football. That sounds incredible. But if I'm Clark Hunt, if I'm Ziggy Wolf, I believe he owns the Vikings, if I'm Jerry Jones, I don't want my players out there because if something horrible happens, then my season is over. But I mean, the NBA has their players out there. The NBA had their players out there all across the sport, like LeBron, Steph Curry, Jokic. In the finals, you had Wembanyama, and they're 2 months away from their season? I get there sometime, but if Wemby got hurt in that game, he's probably missing portions of the season. So, as a fan, sign me up. I think the NFL should stop being so cautious and go let them do it.
Yeah, but I think the big difference is, and maybe this just takes time to do it, is there's not many other countries that play football other than we do.
To be fair, can I say the same thing about the 92 Dream Team?
Yeah, but I would argue, though, that basketball internationally has always been a thing. They just weren't up to the level of competition, and eventually they caught up. What other countries play football? Now, maybe the hope is, all right, hey, in 2025, we are going to run past you guys. And then in 20 years, the same way that you're making the point, though, the same way that, you said, hey, this is what happened with the Dream Team, you're hoping, though. Are you really growing it in that way through flag football, though? What is the goal of the NFL by allowing their players to compete? Is it just simply exposure? Because that's what it seems to me. This does not seem about competition, at least not for the NFL. It could be that if you're just not going to let NFL players play, hey, if we're going to have the best American flag football players, hey, if you have any NFL experience, you cannot compete in this game. Yeah, that would make sense to me, but I just, other than we want to put our product in front of more people and we want Mahomes to go to the Olympics and be interviewed and do all of these things, and we think that's a way to grow the game, I just don't really see how this benefits the NFL from a play standpoint really at all to allow its stars to compete in flag football in the Olympics. That ain't real football.
Let me ask you this. How is this isn't this just an extension or a bigger stage what the NFL's been doing with their international series? They have made it clear in whatever way they want their product in front of international eyeballs. Now, flag football is not real football. I get that. But if you want the whole world to watch Patrick Mahomes and the best of the best, this is the window. This is the best time to do it. It's not by putting Jags and Panthers in Germany. That's not the best way to showcase your product. The best way is to have Patrick Mahomes dropping dimes to Sam Laporta and to have, Patrick Surtain playing both ways. It seems like marketing brilliance by the league because they are clearly trying to gather an international market. This would help do that.
Yeah, but I guess here, and someone just texted in, we can call Michael Swain here. Someone said this is a classic NFL thing to do because they're obsessed with taking over every other sport and event that they can. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about this thing. We don't know that the United States is better at football than everybody else. I mean, that's all we're going to get the information on. That's all we're going to find out. Hey, America's really good at this thing. I'm sorry. I don't care what your flag football program looks like. And I'm sure there's other countries that, hey, we actually, flag football is a thing we do here. I don't care how much flag football they're playing in China. They about to get smoked. They about to get smoked in this game. This game will not be competitive. It will not be close. It will not be good. So if you guys missed it, Roger Goodell says that in the next 60 days, they are going to make a decision on if they will allow the players to compete in next year, or I guess in a couple years, Olympics. The Olympics are adding flag football. Some NFL players want to play it. I'm sure actually a lot of them actually probably want to play in it. And Goodell and the owners will make a decision on if they will allow them or not. This also came out. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell acknowledges there is a little data, but a clear potential risk with the tush push, and suggested that reverting to the old rule prohibiting pulling and pushing ball carriers would make sense. That's what I think the argument is going to be. If they eventually get rid of the tush push, that's why I think they're going to get rid of it. You can't push the ball carrier anymore. Okay, well, that's fine then. I want that same energy whenever it is a scrum when a running back is trying to get 2 yards, and we all see it before. Everybody pushes to make sure that he gets that 1 yard, and that running back is allowed to keep forward progress and pick up an extra 3-4 yards. I want that same energy, and I want you guys to throw a flag. You can't do that anymore. If that's what we're saying is you can't push or pull ball carriers, all right, cool then. I think you guys need to radically change forward progress then if that's the case. Because forward progress, a majority of time, ends up being the offensive team starts pushing forward or vice versa, and it ends up just being a problem. A lot of this just feels like sour grapes to me. They won the Super Bowl with the play that they run better than everybody else. Other teams tried to run the play. They're not as good at it. So now teams got to figure out a way. Well, since we can't stop it on the field, we now got to stop it in the courts, so to speak. This has got big lawsuit energy is what it got. We couldn't beat you, so now we're going to sue you. I'm not with it. I don't love the tush push. I don't hate the tush push. It is a quarterback sneak. Figure out a way to stop it. I mean, Buffalo ran it 5 times in the AFC Championship game. It got stopped 3 times. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Michael Swain. Michael Swain covers the Jayhawks for 24/7 Sports. Michael, you know what? I'm actually hopeful that we have you on the show again in the next couple of weeks, because that would mean something good is happening for KU in the transfer portal, because right now only bad things are happening for them in the transfer portal.
Yeah, well, what's the old saying, right? The transfer portal giveth, the transfer portal taketh away. Yeah, it's been an interesting start for KU, hasn't it? You know, I don't know how much you could say really is super negative. I think so far really the biggest negative is Floyd Badunga going in the portal, guys like, Diggy Coit, Rylan Griffin, Zach Clements, not that much of a surprise. I'd be surprised if like AJ Storr doesn't end up in the portal eventually too. Hey guys, that's just the nature of college basketball, man. You can look across the sport right now. A lot of colleges are looking to build brand new teams, right? John Calipari had the funny quote last year, right? I met with the team. There is no team. Well, I feel like there's a lot of college basketball teams, KU included, that can definitely relate with that quote right now.
How many of these players, maybe we can go individually if you would like, how many of these guys are being pushed out? How many of these guys are choosing to leave? Because one, I think, common misconception about the transfer portal is some of these guys are not making the decision. Some of these guys probably want to stay at their schools, and the coaches are saying, hey, we don't have a spot for you. We are now going to recruit over you. How much of that do you think is happening at KU versus some guys are looking for more opportunities, more NIL, whatever reason they have for transferring? What's the ratio in your mind?
Yeah, so we can run through it really quickly. You look at Zach Clements, missed this year. He's going to get a medical red shirt. He wants to go play, and he's not going to play at Kansas. So he's going to go move on. He's going to go play his senior year somewhere. He'll get the medical red shirt. He'll be able to go in and really contribute somewhere. Diggy Coit wanted probably a little bit more than KU was willing in terms of money to come back, and I think wanted some certain potential maybe guarantees of role and minutes, and that just I don't think was really something that KU was going to be super interested in, considering the fact that you got Darren Peterson coming in and you're going to try and build this roster around him. Rylan Griffin, look, things didn't work, and I think Rylan would tell you that. I think people close to Rylan would tell you that. I think people close to KU would tell you that. I don't think there's any hard feelings about that. That just didn't work, and Rylan's going to go try and find somewhere else where hopefully for him it does work. Marquise Passmore, I think, is one of the more – I wouldn't say surprising ones because it's not super surprising, but more this is the type of player that I think 5 years ago would spend 4 years at Kansas, and by the end of it would be an All-Big 12 player. But with the way this is going this year, KU is trying to go and win a national title next year with Darren Peterson. So they're going to go all out in the transfer portal and add as many high-quality players as they can. As a result, that means Rakis was probably looking at like an 8th, maybe 9th, maybe 10th man, basically back of the rotation spot, which is where he was this year. And he knows that all of a sudden when it comes to crunch time, Bill Self is going to play 8 guys, maybe 7. So that's a risk if he stayed at KU, that he may not play. And all of a sudden then he's looking at 2 years left and he hasn't played basketball very much in the last 2 years of college. So you can look up and down, and I really think the one big one that kind of was a bit of a surprise for KU was Floyd Badunga. And this is one that's probably pretty nuanced. He's going to go get paid somewhere. And if I had to bet, I bet he's going to go get paid at Auburn. And this is something that I think Auburn had been working with people close to him for a while. And look, that's the nature of the game, right? When Rylan Griffin went in the portal last year, it was pretty clear pretty quickly that KU had a good idea. He was going in and that he was going to end up at KU. This is the nature of the beast right now. Agents are working behind the scenes. They're working around the clock to find spots for their guys. And if there's a big offer out there, they're going to go take it. And so I think someone like Flory is going to have that opportunity. And I think with the way the season went, where he played well and was starting and then was taken out, that would frustrate any player. And I think that may be something that maybe frustrated him a little bit and maybe got him to be open to a move. And then those are the ones right now. And look, again, I think A.J. Storr will be on his 6th or 7th team in as many years next year. He's not been someone that sticks around for 2 years, and I'm not sure that's going to happen at KU as well. So overall, you look at it, some surprise and some like Flory. But outside of that, I really can't say a lot of this has been super jaw-dropping or anything really super surprising.
I'm really surprised about Flory, and right now we're talking to Michael Swain because I think most KU fans have said this, and I'm sure you've heard this, is Bill does really well with guys that say 3-4 years and buy into the system. I mean, that's what Flory is. When you get a big that's a former McDonald's All-American who clearly was not a one-and-done player, you're hoping that you can keep him until he's a junior, and then that's a guy that turns out to be a first-team All-Big 12 guy and a guy that turns into an NBA player. Like, this is the kind of Jayhawk that they used to keep for 3-4 years and would go on to great success. And now after 1 year, he's not going to go do that with down in the SEC with Bruce Pearl?
Yeah, and you're right. And so what's maybe – I think some KU fans may be frustrated is the fact that I think the messaging from Flory himself and people close to him when he showed up to KU was, hey, we know this is not going to be you show up, you play 30 minutes a game, and you go. It was very much he's going to show up, going to develop under Hunter for a year and play. And guys, he played the most minutes any freshman center has played since Cliff Alexander, right? He played more than I think people thought going into the year. And I think that for him, just I think the way that things went this year, and I don't think it was necessarily a super rosy locker room environment as well as the season progressed. And I think that can rub off on people and maybe make you think, do I really want to be here? And I think that's a part of what happened in addition to the opportunity to make a substantial sum of money. So you're right. He is the type of player, I think Rakis Passmore are the types of players that in the previous era or maybe most recent era before this one, right, they're the type of guys that you could see, going to KU having a lot of success, right? I think in an ideal world, Floyd would return, plays, 28, 30 minutes a game, probably goes to the NBA because he's that athletic. And if he can maybe develop some skill around the basket a little bit more, he would be someone that could go in the first round. So it is a different era, and I think there are going to be some big picture looks done inside of programs of how do you recruit? Are you going to recruit to develop? That's a risk right now, guys, because there's a good chance you're developing them for someone else, or they're not even going to develop at your school because they're not going to get the chance. Or do you go and recruit cheap end-of-roster players who are maybe local and will be willing to stick around and maybe not play a bunch, but practice, get to live the life that you can get being a Power 4 high major college basketball player. So I think how schools recruit to fill out rosters is going to be really interesting, especially on the high school front, because times have changed and it's just very, very different right now.
Michael, can you think of many teams in the last 10 to 15 years that their plan was to build around a freshman point guard? Like, I'm trying to think of the teams. Like, we're talking like John Wall in Kentucky. We're talking about Trae Young at Oklahoma. Like, what you're telling me KU's plan is for next season, that is a very, very unique plan that not many teams do.
No, it's not. And you got to go, I think, if you want to find precedent for freshmen doing things right, I think you got to go to Calipari Kentucky, right? De'Aaron Fox, that team, and obviously he had Malik Monk there with him. But it's been done before. But I think what you're going to see KU try and do is fill the roster with experienced players around Darren who have been around the block. And when you do get into those bright light situations, it's not all on Darren, especially early in something like Big 12 play, before he maybe gets some of that crucial experience in some of those big road environments. And what KU's doing, obviously, it's going to be a risk. You're giving the keys to a freshman, and regardless of what you think of said freshman and how good you think he is, I think he's a stud. Like I think he will be a top 2 pick in the draft next year. But there's still some inherent risk, and I think what KU's going to try and do in the portal is to put experienced players around Peterson so that not everything falls on him, and he is not a single point of failure for the team, where he can propel the team forward and be the guy that leads, but I think isn't going to have to face all that pressure of, oh man, if Darren's not on tonight, KU's kind of screwed. So the roster building for this year is so fascinating, especially considering the fact that it's a huge roster rebuild. You're losing, all 5 starters, top 2 bench guys. Like, it's going to be a brand new team, and this is Bill Self's chance to build the ideal roster around Darren Peterson. Will he be able to do it? That's the coverage we're trying to provide right now, and it's way too early to say. So that part's going to be interesting to track.
Michael, last thing here, and we appreciate your time. You obviously have tracked it much more than I have. I'm looking at Keyshawn Hall that played at UCF. I mean, that just feels like a KU player. If you want to put experience around Darren Peterson and a guy that can go get you a bucket, he seems like he makes a lot of sense for me. The big from Arizona, Visar, I believe that's how you pronounce his last name, the big kid, that feels like for them. I mean, KU's now got some NIL money to spend. They're going to swing big in the portal, and they'll probably hit on a couple of these kids because they're Kansas.
Yeah, for sure. And I love the Keyshawn Hall fit. I know we've talked about it on our VIP message board. There's some concerns about, you look at AJ Storr and going to multiple teams. But look, Keyshawn Hall rebounds, and he is really good at getting to the rim and attacking, and generally is a pretty somewhat efficient player. You can look at the comparison to Jalen Wilson his senior year. The only real difference is that Jalen's assist rate is higher and Keyshawn's free throw rate is higher. So in terms of a profile, he fits that bill, and I think that's the type of guy you want to have at the 4 in this day in college basketball. The center spot's going to be fascinating. There are already some names that we're tracking here. A kid from Florida State that just went in today is probably going to be worth watching. But yeah, it's going to be fascinating, right? There's so many minutes available, so many spots to fill, and I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg of the players that are going to go in. We still got 3 weeks. I think April 22nd, if I remember right, is when the portal closes. So long way to go. And as we've seen year in and year out, guys will go in the portal April 20th. So just because a guy's not in the portal or you don't think you like what it looks like today, man, tomorrow's a new day and next week's a new week. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen. So it's going to be really, really interesting to track.
That is Michael Swain joining us on the show today. He is with 24/7 Sports. Always great to catch up with him and get the latest on the Kansas Jayhawks. Michael, man, great stuff, man. I appreciate you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. That is Michael Swain joining us on the show today. Really happy to get his thoughts about the Kansas Jayhawks as they are trying to retool their team as they are going off to work in the portal. All right, coming up next, you know what? Every day in April at 3:45, we're going to talk about the NFL draft. Today, April starts. We'll do that next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
I'm Rhett. And I'm Link. And we're the hosts of the podcast Ear Biscuits. We're just 2 lifelong friends who've been talking about life for a long time.
From being dads to businessmen to all the random things we experience, nothing is off limits.
And now we're talking to you. We're answering your questions, giving advice that you may or may not want to take, and listening to your hilarious stories.
So leave us a voicemail to be part of the show at
1-888-EARPOD-1 on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6812. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6812. That's 800-575-6812.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team take a unique approach that transforms the typical home selling experience from a mundane process of list and hope into a seamless transaction. Dawn is so confident in her ability to sell your home that she guarantees it will be sold. If your home does not sell by the agreed-upon date, she'll personally buy it. Contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Visit them at homesforsaleandkc.com and start packing.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Stalled out car on the right shoulder of southbound 35, right at Armour Road. Traffic looking heavy coming out of the 435 and 70 exchange via eastbound 70 and slow into downtown. Money back guarantees, parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you're securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule a complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Chiefs fans, it's Nick Bolton, MIZ. Welcome to The Drive with C-Dot on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Rob, this has nothing to do with the original topic that we had planned here. I promise you we'll get to it. Do you fill out the Masters lottery? It just popped up on my social media feed, and I just clicked on it because I was curious, and I was reading people's stories about the Masters lottery, and people were talking about how they've tried for like 11 years, 15 years, and they've never won the lottery. They've never had the chance to buy face value Masters tickets. At what point would you just simply give up? Do you fill this out? I feel like everyone should at least try to get them, because if you hit, even if you don't go to the lottery, it still seems like it's a significant windfall for you if you simply get selected to go to any of the days. You don't even got to go to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. If you get the Wednesday practice round, I feel like you're really happy.
I apply every year for the lottery.
Have you ever won?
I've never won. My brother won one year.
Did you get to go with him?
No, he took his he took his college roommate.
Oh, hold on here.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Now his college roommate, in his defense, is a greenskeeper, so it was like there's a golf connection. But yeah, and his buddy has family that won tickets.
This is the brother that I met. This was your best man at your wedding.
Yep, he's been to the Masters.
This is your guy.
Mm-hmm.
This is your flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
So you were telling me that
he won the Tuesday lottery. Yeah.
You applied for the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother also applied for the tickets. And your brother won. And his first call was not to baby bro. It was to his friend. That's a violation.
That's correct.
You got done wrong here.
I did get some gear out of it, but
I would hope so.
I did not get to go.
You're telling me that he knew that you wanted to go and then looked at you and said, you know what? I'm going to pick this guy I'm not related to, but you know what? I'll get you a hoodie. No.
Yep. So I do apply. To answer your question, I apply every year.
I feel sorry for you because you wanted to go to that.
I'm going to win one year and go to it. That's going to happen. Cody's been. I think Cody won one year too.
How many years? How many tickets can you? Did your brother only get 2?
He only get 2. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if he got 4. I wasn't sure how that worked.
He got 2. And then like it all worked out because like his buddy's family had actually also won the lottery, so it was like planets aligned for everyone but me.
Yeah, that's what I think happened too.
Yeah.
It worked out for everybody but you. You got done wrong in here. You were the odd man out on this story. I'm sorry this happened to you.
Yeah, it was. So I applied.
How many years in a row have you applied for the Masters
COVID.
lottery?
Ever since the COVID lottery.
Oh, so you got 5 in a row then, and you just can't.
I didn't do the October 2020. I did 4 years in a row.
And you just keep missing.
Just keep missing.
All right.
I would go whenever, too. I'd go to the practice round. I'd go to the...
Yeah, of course.
I'd go stand at the
Any
range.
day. Yeah, you would go any day. Any day that they ask you to go. No, you would certainly do it. You know what? Why don't we save our draft conversation? We'll get to the draft in a bit. I apologize for being a little bit distracted in that. I saw this Masters lottery thing, and I was reading, and I'm reading these people's stories, and they were like, well, how do you win? And the guy was like, we apply, then every year we get disappointed. It caught my attention. I've never signed up for the Masters lottery, so I was curious how this worked. How does it hit your ear when, as a college basketball fan, when Michael Swain comes on here and says that KU's plan is to build next year around a freshman point guard? How does that make you feel?
I mean, knowing the quality of the player, it's exciting because one of my major complaints, and it's not unique to me, one of KU fans' major complaints the last 2 seasons is the pieces don't fit. Hunter Dickinson, KJ Adams, they don't gel with AJ Storr, who doesn't gel with David. It was like a puzzle piece, but all of them were odd shapes, and it never kind of came together. If nothing else, I like the fact the staff has said, okay, we have our alpha. What fits around our alpha? And there have been point guards in college basketball that are freshmen that when you build around them, good things happen. Now, they are extremely talented. They're John Wall. They are, he mentioned De'Aaron Fox. They are that level of player, but everything you read about Darren Peterson is he's that level of player. So I like the notion that you found the one, build around the one.
This would be my question, though. If he's De'Aaron Fox, is that good enough? Because De'Aaron Fox was a great player. He was a very solid player at Kentucky and is going on to be a very good NBA player. Every school would want to recruit him. Is that enough for next year? In a college basketball landscape that is changing and is much more junior, senior, much more experience-led, are you winning the Big 12? Are you winning the national championship if your best player is De'Aaron Fox?
No, but is De'Aaron Fox, who, by the way, averaged 17 a night at Kentucky. I forgot how good he was at Kentucky.
Good, really good.
If you
but I guess really quickly, though, we acknowledge there was a difference in Derrick Rose as a college freshman.
Different world.
There's a difference in John Wall. Now, if you're telling me that Darren Peterson is Derrick Rose for this upcoming season, then yeah, you're perfectly fine. If he's De'Aaron Fox, which was a really good college player that then got on to be an even better NBA player, that seems really good for the Sacramento Kings. How good does that sound for Kansas next year if that's who they have?
The question is, can Kansas in the portal find Malik Monk? Because you're not winning a title with one dude, even no matter how special Darren Peterson is. And it's not just me and Michael Swain saying this. Like, go read any recruiting publication. They're saying big things about Darren Peterson.
You need guys.
You got to find I know he didn't come to Kansas, but like you find Donovan Dent, the kid who just went to UCLA from New Mexico. You go find hey, he's a guy that fits what Darren Peterson does and makes Kansas better. You got to go find, and for the De'Aaron Fox analogy, you got to go find your Malik Monk. You got to go find your Aaron Harrison, a guy who can play off of this guy and is also a great player in his own right. I mean, Malik Monk's an NBA player. Like, he's not De'Aaron Fox, but he's an NBA player. If you're both at the same time, you feel good. You get one of them as a veteran from the portal. You get one as a freshman.
They really need Keyshawn Hall.
Yes.
What KU really needs to pair with Darren Peterson is they need a guy that can go score.
Yep.
And we've seen that Hall can go get you 30 if you need him to go get 30.
And they need a shooter. They're after that kid from Iowa, the Joshua Dix, after him. Like that, they need a guy who can spread the floor, and they need a guy who can go get a bucket.
Yeah.
Those are the guys they're targeting.
Yeah, and if you get those two guys to go with a really talented point guard, you're right, that is the foundation. You probably need a little bit of size if you were them as well. You're not going to go 100% in the portal, but, I mean, KU's got some work. I mean, there is a clear checklist of what they're going to need to get back to being on top of the Big 12. They're going to have to hit big in the portal coming up over the next couple of weeks or so. Rob, the text line asked a good point. If you win the lottery, let's say that in 3 months, the lottery opens back up and you win and you get 2 tickets, are you taking your brother to Augusta?
I am very happily taking my wife down to Georgia. And I will be telling
She don't even want to go.
Oh, she has no interest. There's not a person who would enjoy it less, but it doesn't matter. Game's the game.
That's crazy. I'm only laughing because I know your wife well enough to know she has no interest. The practice round, no interest. I know your brother did you wrong. I couldn't take somebody to something like that and they didn't share my level of excitement for what we were doing. I couldn't, like, this is your dream. Like, if I asked you right now, hey, I'll give you 2 tickets to the Super Bowl or 2 tickets to Sunday at Augusta, you would pick the Masters tickets over the Super Bowl tickets. This is probably your number one on your bucket list. My number one on my bucket list, I can't take somebody that's not excited about going. I couldn't do it.
I mean, the whole day is going to be just, you have to fly to Atlanta, then drive to Augusta. No part of it's going to be happy for her, but I'll be texting my brother at every step. Guess who's not here?
That's crazy. Coming up on the other side, you know what? I think we might have to light some candles. I think we might have to pour out a little bit of liquor for the best fans in baseball. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Stalled out car on the right shoulder of southbound 35, right at Armour Road. Traffic looking heavy coming out of the 435 and 70 exchange via eastbound 70 and slow into downtown. Money back guarantees, parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you're securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule a complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
Baseball fans love the long ball, and FanDuel is giving you even more reasons to love home runs every Tuesday during the baseball season. Because with Dinger Tuesdays, all customers get a home run profit boost token. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winning to all new heights. So whether it's a big blast or an oppo, FanDuel is your home for betting home runs. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and gear up to go yard all season long. So every Tuesday, pick your favorite player to hit a home run. Doesn't matter if it's Bobby Wood Jr., Aaron Judge. The decision is yours. Use my promo code KFNZ to claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost token restrictions apply, including any token expiration and match wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreements. Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash, and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
That's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos, and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online, no medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/sports. Ethos.com/sports.
Sample Rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male. Billed monthly.
Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Results every week and then receive free support for life. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey guys, new update. I'm down over 20 pounds thanks to Awaken 180. 20 pounds in just 4 weeks and doing it without medications. I'm eating to lose weight, and after I reach my goal, I'll receive free support for life. You can too. Awaken180weightloss.com.
At Busey Bank and Cross First Bank, we're partnering together to help make your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth and partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Together, we're building extraordinary impact in business, wealth, and community. Busey Bank and Cross First Bank. Member FDIC.
Men, here's the truth. In the bedroom, good enough isn't really good enough, is it? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if your erectile dysfunction is making intimacy less enjoyable for you and your partner, give us a call today. Because whether your ED only happens sometimes or all the time, it's time to stop good enough and time to start really good. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. Whether it's only mild or moderate, or even if it's severe, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we have a variety of treatments and can even combine protocols, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in a long time. You could even last up to an hour or more and make sex great again for you and your partner. So make an appointment and be done with good enough. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you.
When you stay in your home, what you love gets to stay too. From the gardens that grow wild to the grandkids that run wilder. From the Friday night baseball games to the Sunday morning brunches. Even the daily crosswords and weekly book clubs. There's room for it all with help from Home Instead, the largest in-home senior care network with over 30 years of trusted experience delivering the peace of mind you deserve. Visit Home Instead online for a better what's next.
At Tractor Supply, we know that a winning season out here takes practice, teamwork, and a can-do attitude. Thankfully, when it comes to teamwork, it's great to have a neighbor like Tractor Supply. No matter the season, our team members are here to help. Like you, they know that nothing beats the feeling of seeing all your hard work pay off. Whether you're caring for pets, chickens, or a few acres, we have everything you need to get the most out of life out here. Season after season, Tractor Supply. For life out here.
Tonight, expect showers and thunderstorms with a low around 60.
Weather brought to you by Robert Half. Robert Half's recruiting professionals use their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent today.
This hour on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Results every week and then receive free support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
What's up, KC? This is Matt Quattrero. On your way home from the ballpark, make sure to listen to Vermes' postgame show right here on 96.5 The Fan. I will not be listening.
96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, I do want to talk about the Cardinals in just a bit. Can you guys help me with something? Now, I don't claim to be the biggest baseball fan in the world, but I would say that I keep up. I keep up more than the casual fan. It's kind of the job. And I haven't seen a whole lot of the Milwaukee Brewers this year, but what I've seen, the Brewers are terrible. They're terrible. They are not a good baseball team by really any means. Rob, can we go through the last 3 days for the Milwaukee Brewers, because they are about as bad of a 3-day stretch that you could possibly have. Their last 3 losses, 20-9, 12-3, 11-1. Can you tell me why they're the favorite today against the Kansas City Royals? Is there something that I'm missing? Is this one of those things like they got to win eventually? Because I just saw these two teams play yesterday, and the Royals did the same thing to the Brewers that the Yankees did. Until the Brewers show me they can win, I will assume that they are going to keep losing. I was just messing around with the app. You're telling me that you can get the Royals right now at plus money? You ain't got to deal with the run line right now. Just, do you think the Royals will win today? Yeah, I do, actually. I think they're better than Milwaukee at just about everything. That team that I saw the Royals play yesterday, it looked like the 2025 Royals were playing the 2005 Royals over on the FanDuel Sports Network. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like the Royals had found a time machine and they were playing themselves. Yes, I will take the Royals today. Can you give me a logical reason? And maybe this pitcher for the Brewers is a lot better than I think, or I don't know. But I cannot believe right now that the Royals are a underdog heading into today's game. That surprises me a bit.
My guess, and I don't say I'm claiming to understand it, is this is the Royals' worst starting pitcher, and you're on the road against a team that won 93 games last year. Like, if there's a moment for them to buck the trend, it's against probably the easiest pitcher they've faced at home. Like, that's got to be Vegas logic. I will be playing the Royals the money line tonight because it seems like the obvious play, but, you know, baseball's a trend sport. Do you think they're going to lose, 5, 6, 7 in a row? That has to be the logic. It's Michael Lorenzen against a team that we think is good, and eventually losing teams stop losing.
No, I mean, you're right. I mean, this pitcher that they have, Chad Patrick, who is starting for them today, he pitched over the weekend. He pitched 1 inning and gave up 2 hits and 2 earned runs. So he has an 18 ERA right now.
I mean, even the 06 Royals won 50 times.
No, that's fair. Would you have bet on them to win any game?
Well,
would you have put real American currency on them? Because that's not what I would have done, actually. I would have done something very, very different if it was me. I was scrolling around, and I saw that, and I was like, what? Wait, what did I miss? How are the Royals underdogs in today's game? Yes, like you, I also made that bet as well because I don't know what other bet you could possibly make. Yes, you should take the Royals today. Maybe they'll lose, and the Brewers do eventually have to beat somebody. I will take the other team at plus money every single time against the team that I've seen play so far this season. You know, why don't we just keep it with the Royals topic for right now? And I want to ask you this question about the White Sox. Now, I don't want to overreact to the first 4 games of the season, and it is not a lot of time. But the biggest reason, not the only reason, but the biggest reason why the Royals made the postseason last year is their dominance against the White Sox. Their dominance against the White Sox. The Royals were 11 games over 500 in their games against the White Sox. They were 1 game under 500 against every other team in Major League Baseball last season. Now, the Royals did what you were supposed to do. The White Sox were bad, and they beat them like a drum last year. And they treaded water against everybody else. And they did that to the tune of winning 86 games last year. They made the postseason. They won a series. Hey, congratulations to the Royals. Well, the White Sox could possibly be improved this season. Now, I'm not saying nothing that's too surprising. I mean, the White Sox were one of the worst teams I had ever seen before. Denny Matthews last year said that he believes that the White Sox were the worst team that he has ever seen. And for Denny Matthews to say that they are the worst team that he has ever seen, I don't know if there is a much greater authority on that topic than Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews. So let's say that Chicago, for example, let's say they improve 20 games from last year. They still lose 100 games. They just improved 20 games, which is a significant improvement. Let's say that they win 25 more games. than they won last year. They still lose, 95 games? I only bring that up because those 25 games got to come from somewhere. They got to come from the Royals. They got to come from the Guardians. They got to come from the Tigers. They got to come from somewhere. What does the math look like in the American League Central? Not just for the Royals, because all of those teams, if you go 41 and 121, everybody was beating up on you last year. That was not just a Royals thing last year. What does the math look like in the American League Central if the White Sox are not as bad as they were last year? You got 3 teams from the American League Central that ended up making the postseason last year. A big reason was, hey, you had the White Sox in your division. What does this mean for the division if you don't have a team to pick on the way that everybody picked on the White Sox last year?
I think it means that the AL Central is probably not a 3 playoff team division anymore, right? Like, maybe it was the Royals, maybe it was Cleveland, maybe it was the Tigers, but all 3 were playoff teams, and all 3 got to face the White Sox a hefty amount in 2024. If the White Sox just get regular bad, not historic bad, but just regular bad, one of those teams may falls out of the playoffs in 2025. Now, I don't know who it's going to be. Maybe it's the Tigers, maybe it's the Royals, maybe it's the Guardians. Maybe they all regress a little bit and it's still a 3-team race for the division. I don't know, but if the White Sox are just regular bad, I don't know the Central is carrying 3 playoff teams. Or maybe a team we didn't expect, the Twins. They were in it till the end last season. They eventually fell out, but they were battling into September. They're winless right now. Maybe they stink, and it just looks the same as last year. It's just, instead of the White Sox being the dregs, it's the Twins. Or maybe it's 2 regular bad teams as opposed to 1 historic bad. But I don't think we can make any sweeping generalizations, but it does make it feel like the Central is going to be a little different in 2025.
Yeah, no, it for sure is going to be different. I'm sitting here and I'm going back and I'm looking at the White Sox schedule, which is not something I can say that I've done before this exact moment in time. They had 31 wins heading into September. 31 wins heading into the final month of the season. And then they got kind of hot. Maybe we should have saw this coming, because they had 31 wins coming into the final month of the season, and then they won 10 games in the final month of the year. Like, by their standards, they actually got kind of hot. They won 5 of their last 6 games. You remember, they won that series against the Tigers at the very end of the year when the Tigers were piping hot at the end of the year. Now, it's just 4 games. I don't want to make it seem like the White Sox are now some contending team, or that's not at all how I feel. I'm simply pointing out, what if the White Sox go from 41 from 41 to 68? Then that means the Royals aren't going 12-1 against them this year. That means that the Guardians are not going 11-2 against them the way that they did last year. And now, wins that you had kind of in your bag last year when you got to 86, hey, you got to find those wins from elsewhere. You got to take advantage of the Twins being down this year. You're going to have to sweep a series that you didn't sweep last year. If you're not going to have the sizable advantage that you had a season ago with having maybe the worst team in American League history in your division that everybody feasted on in the division, what does that look like for everybody else? All right, coming up on the other side, we will talk about the best fans in baseball and a revelation that I had. Keep it right here, so Drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Calling all college hoops fans. Make your next bet during March. Matchups at BetMGM go even further with an odds boost token. Simply add any tournament bet to your bet slip and activate your odds boost token. If that bet hits, you'll walk away with a higher payout. For a tournament full of unforgettable moments, BetMGM BetMGM is your sports book for all of it. Enjoy same-game parlays, original bets you won't find anywhere else, player props, and so much more during March matchups. And when there's a break in the tournament action, or you're looking to switch things up, check out daily promotions and offers for all your favorite sports. Don't miss your chance at a bigger March matchup score with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are issued as tokens. Expiry varies per round. Please read full terms for full details. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Buckle up and hang on. This is going to be a good one.
The fans of Kansas Speedway know how to have a good time. One that celebrates fantastic finishes.
Crash together, so close.
And family-friendly facilities. Trading paint.
We've got feuding.
And tailgating tradition. Burnouts, beer, and barbecue. Oh, it'll for sure be a good time. And you are all invited. NASCAR weekend at Kansas Speedway, May 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Rob Site Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com. 2025 is the year Rob Site Ford makes history. With non-commissioned sales staff, the lowest prices on brand new Fords, best trade-in values, and the biggest selection, we've got it all. Visit Rob Site Ford, the top-rated Ford dealership on Google. robsite.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Left lane closed for a stalled car northbound 35 just past eastbound 70 in the downtown loop. Slow over the Bond Bridge and seeing some brake lights southbound 35 from about 635 through 67th Street. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
All right. I would like to read something to you guys about the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I don't know if you guys like the Cardinals or dislike the Cardinals or where the beef might stand or where it doesn't stand. I don't know. But did you know that on Monday night, the Cardinals had the smallest attendance they have had at New Busch Stadium? Their crowd was 21,206. Now, I understand it's in the school year. It's a Monday night. Trust me, we don't have to go through all the reasons why people decide to stay home for a baseball game. But there have been some markets and some cities that historically they come out regardless. And St. Louis is one of those places. St. Louis is not a big place. It is not a major market the way that a LA is or a Chicago or a New York. But Cardinals fans have always been dedicated to supporting the hometown team and going out there to the game. They do not seem very interested in doing that this season, which then got me to think. Now, I know that some of you wear this as a badge of honor and you're proud to be a diehard, true blue, through thick and thin fan. Most fans are fair weather. You know how many games the Cardinals won last year? They won 83 games. This is the kind of fall off you would have if you guys win like 65 games. The worst attendance they've ever had, coming off a year in which they won 83 games, a year in which they've started 3-1. Fans said, we do not like what you are buying. Every fan base is fair weather. And I think what makes this at least interesting to me is Cardinals fans have kind of walked like they're above it. Cardinals fans, oh, that would never happen to us. It's happening right now. It's happening. Your fans are not bought in. Your fans are not connecting. They're not going out to the ballpark. If you've seen the pictures, I think 21 is being gracious. 21 is, you know, where they do, that was tickets sold, not people that actually came to the ballpark. There's 12,000 people at this Cardinals game. That crowd is empty. Every fan base is fair weather. I don't say that as a bad thing. It is an entertainment product. And if the entertainment is not entertaining, then you have the ability to walk away whenever you want. And Cardinals fans have clearly made that decision to walk away from their team. So we got to pour out a little bit of liquor for the best fans in baseball, because right now, I don't know how you can call yourself that if you're a Cardinals fan. You've worn that like a badge of honor. You've worn that like you guys are a superior fan base. You're not. You're just like the rest of us. It was just different because your team was good for so long. Everybody can go out there and support a winner. When you won 85 games on average from 2008 until COVID, yeah, it's not hard to go out to the ballpark every night. You're going to World Series and making the postseason every year. Yeah, it's easy to be a fan then. You know when it's hard to be a fan? When you won 71 games back in 2023. You won 71 and 91. You guys were embarrassing. And then last year was the first time that the Cardinals hadn't had at least 3 million people come to the ballpark since 1997. They ain't getting 3 million this year either. They're not getting close to 3 million. They're going to do worse this year than they did last year when you're talking about attendance. How the mighty have fallen. The mighty have fallen for the St. Louis Cardinals. And it makes me think, and this is a side note from what we're talking about, every single fan base is what have you done for me lately? Every single one. Bill Self is incredible. Bill Self is one of the greatest college coaches that we've seen. Let KU have a couple more years like they've had these last 2 years. Let this carry on for another this goes into year 3 and then year 4, we will start to have some very difficult conversations about Bill Self. That's just how sports works. At some point, all the love that you have for Patrick Mahomes, eventually you will tell Patrick Mahomes, hey, it's time for you to go be the quarterback of somebody else's team. That happened with Tom Brady. That happened with Joe Montana. That happened with Brett Favre. It happens with everybody.
Peyton Manning.
Eventually, the fans stop loving you. They appreciate what you did, yeah. And you can come back and wave to the crowd and, yeah. But eventually, everybody has an expiration date. Everybody's time is up. And it looks like, at least in the short term, think about, when do they open up New Busch Stadium?
They had the All-Star game like 08, 09 out there. So probably around then, 07, 08, 09, somewhere in that window.
So we're talking about almost 20 years of a ballpark. They had their worst crowd yesterday. And I don't know why it would be much different today. I mean, the weather hasn't changed. It's still a Tuesday. School's still going on. I mean, this is a normal crowd now for the Cardinals. They've never had these kind of crowds before.
I think what you're saying about everyone being fair weather is spot on. I think I was talking about this the other day with someone. Attendance and fan support is like this super catch-22. Because as a Kansas football fan, I've been through a bunch of turnover, and every coach, the first thing they say is, we need you to come out and support, get to the booth and fill it up. And they would, be 2-10. And people would be like, why aren't fans coming? Well, you're 2-10. You're bad. So, bad teams are always demanding support. You know what good teams never need to do? Demand support, because you show up. Kramer, who works in the building, he's a Cardinal fan. He texted me that fans are mad at the way they're being run. Yeah, because they're not very good right now. Of course they're mad at the way they're being run. They're not winning anymore, so fans aren't showing up. But watch, if it's June 1st and the Cardinals are first in the AL Central, the Brewers look like they're bad, the Cubs aren't going to be special, they're first in the AL Central. You know it's going to be full? Busch Stadium. You've been to Arrowhead, Carrington, when they had a blackout locally. With the NFL blackout rules, they couldn't sell at Arrowhead. That feels like eons ago. It was 12 years, 13 years ago. If the Chiefs are starting, the Chris Oladukin kid in a few years, and Andy Reid's not the coach, and they're hurtling toward 4-15 or something, or 4-13, I bet fans won't go to that either. Maybe that was us saying the same thing, but there's always this catch-22 with attendance where it feels like bad teams are begging for it. Come and support us. It makes us better. You know what will make you better? Winning, and then we'll come support you.
Yeah, I just always feel like, and I'm trying to think of something, and maybe you have an example. Sports is the only thing that producers of it, they demand your undying, loyal love of their product regardless of what they do. We don't treat any other place like that. Hey, if you go to a restaurant enough time and the food is bad, you know what eventually you stop doing? You stop eating there and you find a substitute. If your favorite artist just keeps making terrible albums, eventually you start listening to a different artist. Hey, I've moved on. Yeah, I used to love Britney Spears. Well, she ain't making hits no more. I've now moved on to Sabrina Carpenter. That is how it works in almost every other form of entertainment. I don't know how we got with sports where you are willing to watch them regardless of what they do, buy into whatever they do. I don't operate that way. I don't operate that. Now, I'm not saying you got the opportunity to just change teams whenever. You can't one year cheer for the Cardinals and the next year cheer for the Pirates, and then you can't do that. But you know what I don't have to do? I don't have to buy into this if I don't believe in it. I don't have to do that. No, why don't you guys hire a new chef? Why don't you guys change the decor around? And yes, I'll come back to your restaurant. But I don't know why in sports we have made it like part of being a sports fan is you got to put up with a bad product. No. And I think for the most part, most people sign up to this. If you look at attendance numbers, it's really hard to get a lot of people out there when the team ain't winning. Because as you said, that's normally the best thing to get you through the ticket gate is I'm coming out here to be entertained, to see a good product, and I believe the home team has a chance to win. And that's ultimately what you were paying for. You were paying for a great night out at the ballpark, a great football game, and you want to leave feeling good because the home team just won. The people in St. Louis are telling you they don't think the home team's winning these games.
You're telling me you didn't go to a lot of Kim Anderson basketball games out in Columbia?
I went to enough to know that it wasn't going to be productive. I went enough to know that it wasn't going to be good. This actually reminds me of what just happened with your team. This is what happened with Sporting. Now, I don't know as much about the Sporting situation as you do, but it seems to me what happened with Sporting was they had Dayton Moore as their head coach. They had Dayton Moore, who was a really important figure, had a lot of success. Things had turned. One of my friends sent me a letter. You guys are writing letters to get that man fired. All Peter Vermes has done for Sporting Kansas City, you guys are writing letters. Hey, man, you got to go. I don't know where you got to go, but you can no longer be the head coach. And they actually responded to the letter. They fired him. Is he in the front office now? Where's Peter Vermes at? He's just gone.
He's gone.
They couldn't even give him a fake title.
He basically, for a soccer equivalent, he was basically coach and GM. He lost both jobs yesterday.
They couldn't just put him up in the front office to just send some faxes. They couldn't just do that.
They're now selling this whole new era, new regime. We move forward. Peter was part of our past. That's the messaging coming out of Children's
Somebody got to go, huh?
We talk about it all the time in sports. If you're failing, someone has to pay for this losing with their job. The example you all used to use is I forget the year. Tennessee ran wild against Missouri. Yeah, someone had to get fired.
Yeah, and then they fired their D-line coach before the plane hit in Columbia. He was fired. Yeah. They got him out of there.
Sporting has played about a month plus of soccer because they had a couple cups and whatever. They haven't won. They haven't played to a draw. They've just been beat night after night after night. Someone's got to pay for this losing with their job. And when the coach and the GM are the same person, that's the guy who's got to go. Like, it's the analogy you made, and I saw Cody make as well about Dayton Moore is perfect. Because the end of Dayton Moore was real bad in Kansas City.
That's what happened.
You could argue it was one of the worst baseball the Royals have ever produced was Dayton Moore's end. And that's impressive. But he's always the guy responsible for the flag. That's how Peter Vermes is at Sporting Kansas City. He's had all the titles, all the successes somehow affiliated to him, but you can't be this bad. You've got to go. If anything, you can say Peter Vermes had more of an impact on soccer in this community, more than just with Sporting, but someone's got to get fired for failure, and he had to go.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, if you had like a soccer Mount Rushmore in Kansas City, I'm assuming Peter Vermes is on the soccer Mount Rushmore. Who else is on this list? I can't think of too many more people who have been as influential and as impactful with the game of soccer in our hometown than he was. I don't know if Sporting is the brand that it is without Peter Vermes and how they transitioned from being the Wizards. Some of you are old enough to remember, the Wizards were not deemed to be cool. It was not cool to like soccer or be a Wizards fan. Sure, they had their following and they have their following now, but they really struggled to get casual fans to buy into it. They have completely rebranded over the last 25 years. And I'm imagining that Peter Vermes has had a very strong and significant hand in that rebrand. Who else is in that conversation of people if you were making a soccer Mount Rushmore?
I'm just thinking of the list. Everyone that I think would be on the list is immediately connected to Peter Vermes. Like, I guess maybe Clark Hunt's in the conversation because Clark and Lamar Hunt because they brought soccer to Kansas City. But Peter Vermes was on the title team that they won with. Maybe the Illig family that made the move to Sporting Kansas City. Peter Vermes was their manager and chief sporting officer. Tony Miola, he and Peter Vermes were friends. They were the back line that led to a championship. Matt Beasler's maybe on that list. Matt Beasler played for Peter Vermes. Like, I don't know. I mean, if there is a Mount Rushmore, it's like a web, and they all connect back to Peter Vermes. I guess the only person on the soccer Kansas City Mount Rushmore that isn't connected to Peter Vermes is maybe the Long family because they brought the KC Current and built the stadium. But everyone else you would consider is somehow affiliated. It's like the Andy Reid coaching tree. Everyone's connected somehow to some Peter Vermes in some form or fashion.
Well, I mean, I think we got to keep our eyes open because they're soon going to come fire me and you. I mean, that's how this works, right? Eventually, you get fired. The Patriots fired Tom Brady. No, they didn't fire him. They didn't want to renew his contract.
They chose to not keep him employed.
Yeah, and did not try to bring Tom back. Like, they were just, Tom, no, you can go play for any other team. We are perfectly fine. We want Mac Jones to come be our starting quarterback. The Packers eventually moved on from Brett Favre. The Niners moved on from Joe Montana. Like we've seen a lot of this in sports. It eventually happens to everybody, and it happened to Peter Vermes. Someone just texted in, Sporting hasn't won in 195 days?
Their last win was in September of 24.
Hold on.
It's been really bad out there.
Hold on. You're telling me they didn't win at any point in the entire football season?
Well, part of that's the off.
I know, I'm just...
Correct. They did not win in
September?
They have not won. I forget the date.
It's April.
Yeah. Real bad.
What's going on out there? 195 days?
Mm-hmm. Again, a little bit of fun with them points because it includes January where they
No,
don't
I
play.
get it.
But yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can subtract 30 days then from that. They haven't lost it. How many losses in a row is that?
I don't know. There's some draws in there, so like it gets kind of weird.
They main wins.
They have not won a game in 195 days.
How's our guy Jake Davis doing? He doing okay? He's still around?
Jake Davis is one of their bright spots. They don't play him in the right position, which is also one of the reasons why Peter Vermes had to go.
The new coach is going to start getting him to do that, play in the right position.
I mean, that's the goal. But yeah, it's you talk about like you made your jokes about how KU fans aren't really talking about KU because the Chiefs cloud is just so big with all their greatness. We don't talk about other things. Sporting KC, which was really the first team to win a pro title in town, like they won, then the Royals won. They were a huge deal. They have been awful for a while out there. They've been really bad, and it's kind of gone unnoticed because the Chiefs just suck all the oxygen out of the room. But Sporting KC, they didn't sell at their home opener, Carrington. Like,
that ain't good.
I'm not saying you to be a soccer fan. You're not a soccer fan. That's fine. But you knew as well as I knew, it used to be a cool deal to go to a game out there. It used to be a fun thing to do. They couldn't sell that game out. They couldn't sell it when Messi came to town this year. I know it was like 4 degrees out or whatever.
It was cold.
Couldn't sell out Lionel Messi. It's been bad. So it stinks for Peter Vermes. But these things are why you get fired.
Hey, I read this letter when it first happened, but I clicked on it again. And you know how mad you got to be to write a lengthy letter to a team? Like, you know how mad you got to be? Because I'm assuming, I don't know this to be a fact, but I'm assuming this is the case. I'm assuming that Sporting has shown the Cauldron a lot of love throughout the years. I'm just assuming that. I think Sporting is the best of all of the local teams at this part of marketing when it comes to fans, media. They are very, very easy to deal with. I'm assuming that they've shown this group of people a lot of love. And I'm assuming the love has gone the other way around. You know how fed up you got to be for you to write a letter for them to fire their coach, and then the team 2 days later is like, yeah, no, you were right. No, yeah, it's time to go. I'm sitting here reading this. This is lengthy. Peter, we acknowledge your contributions to the club and to the Kansas City community, but Sporting Kansas City is bigger than any one person. The club's future must take precedence over past achievements. They in a very fancy way, they said, hey, all those games you won, they don't mean as much now anymore. We can't be focused on those past wins. We got to look ahead. A fresh vision is required to carry this team forward. It is time to make the decision that serves the club's best interest rather than personal ones. This is a read right here. You want to talk about telling somebody off in a very calm and professional way? That's what this letter is. This letter is, Peter, we appreciate you, but you got to go.
I mean, they said it more eloquently and longer style than this. What have you done for me lately is what they asked. That's the question that letter is. What have you done for me lately? Because it ain't winning, and we get that you're a big deal, but winning is a bigger deal than what you've accomplished. That is what that letter says, but it's just a full page of 12-point font saying, what have you done for me lately?
I ain't gonna lie. I love a strongly worded letter. I love a strongly worded, direct, to the point. This is how we feel. All of us feel this way. They signed it a group. They signed it the Cauldron. The Cauldron and the South Stand Supporters Club, and they put their little crest on it. They wanted you to know this is official. This comes from all of us. We had a meeting. Is what they said. We came together and we had a secret meet, and we getting you fired here. And they fired him. They got rid of him. Shout out to Sporting, man.
I'm sure this is how they wanted to be talked about this season by us. Just first topic out of the chute. Oh, you fired your coach.
Win more games. I don't know what to tell you.
Win any.
I don't know what
Win
to tell
one.
You. I don't know what to tell you. Win more games. And we would have done this.
The last time that we talked Sporting on this show is when the Chiefs beat the Ravens. Like that.
Yeah. You know what, Chiefs fans, if y'all come together, y'all can get rid of Matt Nagy. That's y'all problem. Y'all not writing strongly worded letters. This championship run has made you soft. Sporting Kansas City, they don't care. They love a strongly worded letter.
No, Sporting loves a letter. Chiefs fans love a nice flyover. That's the they had the banners flying over the stadium. That's their go-to move.
We, as supporters, are the backbone of this club. We show up, we sing, we travel, we pour our time, money, and hearts into this team because we believe in what it should stand for. But belief alone does not win matches, and unwavering support does not excuse repeated underperformance. The Sporting KC standard has been abandoned, and we will not sit idly by while this team fades into irreverence. Yo, they was getting bars off in this letter. I'm telling you, the people that wrote this letter over at the KC Cauldron, I want you to know you got my support. I also want you to know I don't have any problem with any of you. Please don't write one of these strongly. We're having fun here. I don't have any problem with any of you. Let me know what charity you want me to donate. I want to help. I'm an ally to the Cauldron, the South Stand Supporters Club, all of this. I don't want to wake up one day and I see on the Cauldron they got a statement about me. I didn't do anything. I don't have any problems with any of you. In fact, I marvel at your ability to get things done. This is a KC Tenants level of strongly worded letter that I just read from the KC Cauldron. Hey, 2 thumbs up to y'all, man. Y'all went out there. Y'all got that done. Coming up in 20 minutes, we'll get to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Baseball fans love the long ball, and FanDuel is giving you even more reasons to love home runs every Tuesday during the baseball season. Because with Dinger Tuesdays, all customers get a home run profit boost token. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winning to all new heights. So whether it's a big blast or an oppo, FanDuel is your home for betting home runs. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and gear up to go yard all season long. So every Tuesday, pick your favorite player to hit a home run. Doesn't matter if it's Bobby Wood Jr., Aaron Judge. The decision is yours. Use my promo code KFNZ to claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost token restrictions apply, including any token expiration and match wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit KansasGamblingHelp.com.
Tuesday, April 1st is April Fuels Day. Earn a 25-cent fuel saver for every $40 you spend. Not kidding. Earn a 25-cent fuel saver for every $40. Tuesday, April Fuels Day at Hy-Vee. Some restrictions apply.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Hey guys, it's Cody Tapp, and I'm here with Mike, a fellow Awaken 180 weight loss client.
I was on a trend where I was about to go over 250 pounds. My cholesterol was getting higher. Since I've gone on the Awaken 180 plan, by the way, I've lost about 50 points on my cholesterol. So I went in for my blood panel within about 60 days of starting the program, and it dropped about 50 points through my doctor. So he went on the plan. My own doctor, as a cardiologist, went on the plan because he was so impressed. He knew what my stomach looked like. He knew my build. I came in, and he just was astounded by the blood panel results. If I hadn't found Awaken 180, I probably would be on cholesterol medicine, higher blood pressure medicine. It was just a life of medication in front of me, and I didn't want that.
Mike, his doctor, and I all took control of our health thanks to Awaken 180 weight loss. Become your own success story and call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Saving for retirement was tough enough for us.
Yes, and navigating markets can be challenging at times.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we take a disciplined approach with your investments.
Tell us more about that.
We take an active approach to money management, positioning your portfolio for opportunities we see ahead.
So all your clients get the same portfolio?
No, we tailor your portfolio to your individual goals and needs.
What about communication? We don't like being left in the dark.
We check in regularly to keep you informed on the markets and your portfolio.
Which means you'll help us stay on track.
Yes, our goal is your comfortable retirement. And as a fiduciary, we always put your interests first, because we do better when you do better. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for university housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Stalled car closing the left lane and slowdowns behind it northbound 35 just past eastbound 70 in the downtown loop. Emergency vehicles, just somebody pulled over there on the side of the road westbound 70 just past 635 on the Kansas side, nevertheless causing some slowdowns as you come up on that as well. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
CDOT considers himself a man of the people. And now he's asking for your help. Please help the drive in the latest installment of The People's Court.
All right, Rob, we haven't really had a chance to discuss this topic, but I think now's the right time. So I went to opening day, and a big question that people had while they were at opening day is, where's the Joes? So you might not know this by now. Some of you do, some of you don't know. They have put a Joe's Kansas City inside Kauffman Stadium. One of the more popular barbecue restaurants in town, one of the more popular barbecue restaurants in the world is inside Kauffman Stadium. And a major question was, how much is the Z-Man going to cost? Because that's what they're kind of touting. You can't get their full menu there, but they selling Z-Mans. So I said, you know what, let me go over here and let me look. I didn't get a Z-Man because that line was crazy. That line was longer than the one in the store. And you guys know know how long the line is. I mean, the line in heaven is shorter than the line during Joe's rush hour. It's crazy over there. I don't go over there when it's like that. I don't mind going over there, but when the line's like that, hey, you know what? I've had it enough. I'll get another day. So I walked up to the front, and people kind of gave you that side eye like I was cutting. I was not. I was simply going over there because I wanted to see how much the Z-Man was. Well, I got the answer for you. For the chicken Z-Man, it's $15. For the regular, the standard, the legendary sandwich, it was $20. Now, Rob, let me ask you this question. $20 for the Z-Man. Is that too much, too little, or just right? What do you think about the pricing of the Z-Man out at Joe's Kansas City in right field at Kauffman Stadium?
And we were talking about too little, too much, just right for strictly at the stadium,
the price,
correct?
yes. Because I looked it up. If you go buy a Z-Man at the actual location, it is $12.29.
Okay. I think $20 for a Z-Man is too much. And I think there are better, cheaper options that will get the job done at Kauffman. I'm not spending $28 for a beer and barbecue at the K. And it's no disrespect to people at Joe's. They do a fantastic job. I'm betting the people manning Joe's at the K don't do as good of a job as people manning Joe's at literal Joe's. So I will keep my Z-Man, which is probably the best barbecue sandwich in town, at actual Joe's. And when I go to the ballpark, it's a hot dog and peanuts and a beer. Just, you got to play the value game.
All right. I think this is a fair price. I think this is a fair price for this reason. You already know it's going to be a markup. It's $13 in the location. You already knew that you were going to pay a little bit of a bump up because it's at the stadium. So you had to at least come into it with the mindset that it was going to be more expensive. I also think you got to pay for convenience. Now, there are some people I think that are like me. Maybe I'm crazy. I didn't eat Joe's until I started working here.
Wait, really? I did not know that about you.
I lived in Missouri. So I'm saying is like,
but it's right there. It's like it's deep in the heart of Kansas.
I lived out by Lee Summit. Why would I drive all the way over there to go get barbecue where Jack Stack's not that far away? I didn't really eat at Joe's. Now, Joe's is amazing. And I think you could argue that the Z-Man is the best barbecue sandwich in the world. Like, you can legitimately make that argument. You have never had a barbecue sandwich any more than that. If you're somebody that lives out in Lee Summit, if you're somebody that lives out in Grandview or just a further out place, I think it's pretty convenient, actually, to be able to go out there and do that. Hey, I don't got to drive all the way to the location. I get one of the best sandwiches. I don't think $20 is that bad of a price for the Z-Man. I think it's a pretty fair. I think it's a pretty fair price for the sandwich. And I think you also got to factor in, I don't know what the number is for the Royals, but I think you got to factor in not everybody that goes to Royals games is from the city. If they play the Cardinals or the Yankees or the Cubs, a more national brand, and you're coming to Kansas City or you're just driving in, you drive in from somewhere out of town, you're telling me that I can kill two birds with one stone? I can get the local cuisine at the ballpark? I think that's going to cost you a little. You got to pay a little bit extra for that. I think the 20 is a fair price for the Z-Man.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. If you're a Yankee, Cardinal, if you're a Mets fan in town for the game, and you're like, hey, I'm already going to the ballpark. The elite barbecue is at the ballpark. I'll pay the 20. But I'm a local, Carrington. I live close to a Joe's. I work a few blocks away from another location. I can go to Joe's whenever, and I love Joe's, but why would I do it at the ballpark for 20 when I can do it the next day for dinner or the next day for lunch or the night before for 12? I'm getting the same sandwich, just I'm getting a better deal. When I'm at the ballpark, I'm going to, take my lumps and go to the value hot dog stand. Yeah, my meal is worse, but the money I saved is saving me money to go to the Joe's the next day.
Yeah, people are asking how much are the fries and the onion rings. I didn't write that down. I went up there and I just was curious about the Z-Man. So it was $15 for the chicken Z-Man. I've actually never had the chicken Z-Man before. I've only had two things from Joe's. I've either got the Z-Man or the ribs. I've never had any of their other kinds of food. I assume the rest of their food is really good. I assume they make good brisket and good burn-ins and all those things. I've had the ribs and the Z-Man. I'm not going in there for too much other things. You know what I do actually really like from Joe's? They got this chicken gumbo. Fire. I do like the chicken gumbo. Chicken gumbo is really good.
I've been there on, they do burnt ends on Wednesdays. I
ain't never had them.
Worth the trip out there for burnt end Wednesdays.
I ain't never had them. I just wanted to know.
That's surprising the chicken's so much cheaper out there, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Are people ordering the chicken Z-Man before? People like the chicken Z-Man?
I've known people who have eaten the chicken Z-Man. I don't think it's preferred to the regular Z-Man, but I'm looking
at it right
now.
now.
That's a pretty steep difference in price for a change of meat.
Honestly, getting the chicken Z-Man, it's not that much different than getting it. So I'm looking at the menu. I'm on Joe's website right now. Their chicken Z-Man is $11.79. $15 for it at the stadium is fair. That's a more than fair price.
That's a regular at the stadium tax.
That's fair. But I would say, though, the chicken Z-Man ain't nearly as popular as the other Z-Man. So, yeah, you want the popular sandwich at the ballpark, convenient right here. You don't got to drive out to KCK or there's an Olathe location. You don't got to drive way out there. We're going to sell it to you right here. $20. I don't mind that. I really think that's a fair price. And I'm all about the deals. Well, if you want a deal, then you don't want the Z-Man. Why don't you go to the little value little tin and get you a $3 hot dog and a $4 Miller Lite?
Was the line humming out there, or was it?
I'm telling you, that line was.
Because the line at actual Joe's is always long, but they got that thing down to a science.
Yeah, it still ain't worth it. You know what? I'm okay. I'm all right. I mean, the food good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not waiting in that line for Joe's. I'm not waiting. I'll go get it another time. I don't want it that bad.
Have you ever been there when it's not a big line?
Yeah. Usually my rule for Joe's is if I can see the line, I'm not going that day.
So you're okay.
Yeah, I'm not standing outside. What are y'all selling Jordans up there? No, I'm not standing out. I'm not standing in line. What are we waiting on, the iPhone? What, y'all got Hatchimals up there? I'm not waiting in line for the food. No, I don't want it. I'm not waiting in line to then pay for the food. No chance. No, I don't want it that bad. I've had Joe's more than enough times in my life. I will have it more than enough time. I'm not waiting in line for that food. Now, if it's inside and you got to wait, because
there's still a wait.
Now, I only go to if I'm going to Joe's, I'm going to Joe's. I'm not going to I'm not going to the Olathe one. I'm going to the only location that there is. That's the only one in my mind. They don't even have other locations.
You're not wandering around Leewood getting a Z-Man?
I'm not going over there. No. Now, when it comes to the other ones, Gates, I'll go to all the locations. I'll go to all the different Jack Stack locations. What's your favorite Jack Stack location?
I mean, the closest one to my house is 95th and Metcalf, so probably that one. That one, then Martin City are the ones I go to the most often.
I don't never go to that Martin City one.
That's just the closest location to my home.
If I'm going to Joe's, I'm going to the one on the plaza.
Over Freight House?
Yeah, that's probably my second one.
Okay.
I like the Freight House one. I don't know. Something about the plaza one. I don't know. Something about where it is. And I like the one on the plaza.
I like the Freight House location.
I like the plaza.
Freight House location's cool on the inside.
I don't mind this one over here on Metcalf. The one not that far from the station. I don't mind that one. That one's cool.
I can't believe you've never done the Martin City one. They just renovated it?
Yeah, I don't think I've been to that Martin City one like a decade. I don't ever go to. I don't even know where Martin City is.
I got some in-laws in Belton, so that's like nice halfway.
I don't even know where that place. I couldn't tell you how to get to the one in Martin City. But yeah, no, I'm only going to one Joe's location. I'm going to the gas station one. If I'm not going to that one and the line's outside, you know what? I'll come back another day. I'll get it another time. It's perfectly fine with me. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, let's talk about the Royals today. They are in Milwaukee. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's MJ Melendez from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Stalled car closing the left lane and slowdowns behind it northbound 35 just past eastbound 70, the downtown loop. Emergency vehicles, just somebody pulled over there on the side of the road, westbound 70, just past 635 on the Kansas side, nevertheless, causing some slowdowns as you come up on that as well. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is the best place to bet on sports. There's absolutely a loaded sports calendar this week, and it doesn't matter if you're into basketball, baseball, hockey, or any other sport. Check out some of their exclusive promotions, Dinger Tuesday, Hump Day parlays, and golf profit boost tokens over the weekend. With baseball season here, you know I'm happy to bet on the hometown team, and hopefully the Royals can win their division this year. You can bet on that as well if you'd like to on FanDuel. And right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets for every winning $5 bet. $200. All you got to do is win a $5 bet as a new customer. So check out FanDuel. Use my promo code KFNZ to make every moment more. 21 and present in Kansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued with non-withdrawable bonus bet, which expires 7 days after restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get up with your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Raise the case, gamblinghelp.com.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
It's March matchups at BetMGM. Lock in your picks for this year's tournament with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Get into the game with exciting state-of-the-art live tracking technology, exclusive sportsbook selections, and so much more. Check out BetMGM Originals for dozens of markets you won't find anywhere else. Take a shot at our exciting free-to-play games for your chance at scoring odds boost tokens, bonus bets, and many other prizes. Experience college hoops like never before with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age and older. Some U.S. promotional offers are not available in Mississippi, New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-981-0023. First bet offer for new customers only. All other promotions for existing customers. Subject to eligibility requirements and rewards may vary. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Total.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if erectile dysfunction is making a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Heartland Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices to serve you. Heartland Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hy-Vee makes my life easier every time I visit. From pre-made meals to everything I need to grill at home, I can find at Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee is your graduation headquarters for any size celebration. They have party trays, personalized cakes, floral arrangements, and so much more. Don't miss the graduation open house on Saturday, April 5th from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., where you can sample all of the amazing graduation party options or just get a little inspiration. Let Hy-Vee handle everything this graduation season, even full-service catering, only at Hy-Vee.
It's that time of year. Fire up the grill and get your backyard groove on. It's Hy-Vee's good old-fashioned meat sale. We're rolling back prices on springtime favorites like bacon-wrapped chicken grillers for $3.99, specialty brats $1 each, whole boneless pork loin $1.99 a pound, and 85% ground chuck just $4.99 a pound. These crazy low prices will get you in the groove. Hustle in for big savings this Friday through Sunday only at Hy-Vee.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. This hour on 96.5 The Fan is presented by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Results every week and then receive free support for life. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, it's MJ Melendez. Catch Vern's On Deck Show 1 hour before first pitch right here on your home for Royals baseball on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We've been having a lot of fun today. Hopefully, you guys have had a great day as well. I would encourage you to check out the podcast page. We have talked about a lot of things today. I would like to get to the Royals. We will talk about the Royals coming up in just a bit. But before we do that, let's talk about the top story right now in sports. You guys will find this hard to believe because there have not been many times where I thought that Major League Baseball was the top story in sports. I think it is. I don't think on this Tuesday that the Final Four, I don't think there is an NFL story that is the top. I think the number one story right now in sports is the bats that the players are using in baseball. Man, it feels good to be talking about baseball. So, for those of you that don't know what's going on right now, there is a new bat called the torpedo bat. So this bat was engineered from Aaron Leanhart is his name. So he started working with the Yankees hitters to find out some improvements. And he is a MIT graduate, physics professor, went to University of Michigan. He quit academics because he's a big baseball fan and wanted to find out more effective and more efficient ways to use a baseball bat. So he helped come up with this idea of the torpedo bat. So this bat fits Major League Baseball collective bargaining dimensions. It has the right shape, the right barrel size, the right length, and the right weight. So this is not a measure of cheating. They are not circumventing the rules. They have simply reimagined what a baseball bat looks like. Here is the latest from Jeff Passan of ESPN.
And I heard from pitchers, and they said, I don't like this. And it's interesting because for so long, Brian, the game has been tilting more toward the pitching side, especially when it comes to the use of technology. You can put a pitcher in a lab now, and he can design a new pitch over a weekend and implement it in games. Whether it's a changeup, a slider, whatever it is, they've figured out on the pitching side how to iterate and how to maximize themselves. And hitters have been searching for a similar thing for a long time now. And this may just be a first step. This isn't going to be adopted by everyone in the game, but it illustrates that technology can help hitters as well.
A couple of things. First thing, I'm for this. I think you have to accept that technology is going to constantly evolve the sport. For those of you that play golf, the clubs that you use in 2025 are not the same technology as the clubs that you were using in 1995. The clubs that you have now are better. They help you hit the ball further, straighter. The technology has improved your golf game. If you look at football, I'm imagining the gloves that the current players are using are different than the gloves that Lynn Swann wore back in the 70s. Technology has made it easier for football players to catch the football. The cleats, all of those things have helped with the performance on the field. What makes that different than what we're talking about here with this torpedo bat? We're not talking about they've done anything illegal. They have simply reshaped and reimagined the configuration of the bat. They didn't take anything away. They didn't add anything to it. It fits the dimensions that have been agreed upon from the players and the owners and the teams. Everybody is on the same page that this is legal. Why are we against this then? Isn't this the natural evolution of any sport? Isn't this the natural evolution of technology? And we've allowed technology to be a major part of the sports that we watch. They just said today that they are getting rid of the chain gang, and now they are going to start using technology to determine whether or not you get a first down. Some of you want automated balls and strikes. You want expanded replay. So wait, you're telling me that technology is good to use if we're going to get it right, but then using technology is not good to help the players run faster, bigger, stronger, make more catches? We're not talking about illegal enhancements. This is not steroids. This is perfectly legal. We have just taken the wood from one part of the bat and moved it to another part of the bat. You still got to get up there and hit it, don't you? You still got to make contact. This is the normal cat and mouse game of any professional sport. The offense has done something. Now it is up to the defense to figure it out. I remember there was a time when people looked at the spread offense like this was some magical revolution that defenses would never be able to figure it out. You guys remember this? I remember being told at one point, you guys can't run that offense. Well, yeah, you can. Players started to figure it out, and it worked. And then eventually the defense figured it out, and then we thought the defense caught up. And pitchers will figure this out. And some players are going to use it, and some players are not going to use it. Some guys are going to feel comfortable, and some guys are going to adjust. Some people are going to say, hey, I've been using this same bat now for 15 years. I'm not interested in changing bats. I want to continue to use this one. But you should have the choice. I'm on the player side with this. And I do find it interesting, and I hope that we get more of a sample size, and I hope we get more pieces of evidence and data to see how the bat works. Some guys are going to use it. Some guys are not going to use it. What does that mean for batting average? What does that mean for on-base percentage? What does that mean for slugging percentage? What are the home runs going to look like when the weather heats up? We're talking about this is a March and early April thing. What are those bats going to do when we get to June and July when the weather heats up and it's easier to hit during that time? So I'm really excited about what this means, and I'm happy that more and more players are going to use it. And we all know how this works. It's a copycat league. Some players are going to try it. Some players are going to love it. Some players are going to try it, and they're going to hate it. It's different. Rob, you know I cannot sit on the other side to do this show. It just doesn't feel right. It's just everything over there is the same. It's the same computer, the same chair, the same microphone. I've tried it. I do not feel comfortable sitting over there. Some players are going to pick up the torpedo bat. They're going to use it, and they're going to be like, no, I'm cool. Now, what does that mean? So I find this story to be pretty interesting, and I'm pretty excited to see what this looks like. Are there any players on the Royals that are using this bat?
None to my knowledge as of now. I was listening to Vermes' postgame yesterday, and as of now, we do not know if any Royals players are using it. I imagine every day in postgame they're going to be asked about it. Hey, using a torpedo bat? Using a torpedo bat? It's like, I eventually will find out.
Okay. We'll see.
Can I say that I hate the Yankees? I think the reason this story is a big deal is because the Yankees. Like if the Oakland Athletics were tearing the cover off the ball with a torpedo bat, do you think we'd be talking about it? Or the fact that it's the Yankees and it makes it feel icky, is that why it's coming up? I feel like the market has a major factor here.
Yeah, but I also feel like this would have been the case if it was any decent team, though. You're right. I don't know if we would have done this if this was the Sacramento A's, but if the Boston Red Sox had done this, I think we'd be having this conversation. If the Cubs had this kind of weekend, if the Dodgers had this kind of weekend, I'm with you. I do think this is a heightened story because the Yankees were so good this past weekend, but I do think there's a handful of markets that I think this would have been a story regardless on if they had used the bat or not. All right. That was one thing that we talked about in today's show. We're actually off at 5:30 today because of the Royals. So we'll get out of here a little bit early today. So I want to read to you guys a quote from Andy Reid. Andy Reid met with the media earlier today and said this. Quote, I think Pacheco will be even better this year. He was forcing that thing coming back last year. Most guys probably wouldn't have come back from his injury, but if you know him for a minute, you know that he wasn't going to be held back. So I think you'll get an even better player this year. I'm not going to say that it's that surprising, but I am a little stunned at how many people in some ways have just given up on Isaiah Pacheco. And it's almost like people forgot what he did the first couple of seasons, and just last year, because he fought through an injury and came back when I think he very easily just could have said, hey, I'm going to get surgery. I'm out for the rest of the season. I don't really know how we got here with Isaiah Pacheco. If you are one of those people that believes contract year is undefeated, this is a really, really important year for Isaiah Pacheco. He is 26 years old. He is 26 years old with an injury history and a 7th round pick running back. You ain't made no money yet. You have run your heart out for a team the last 3 years and have not properly been compensated for doing that because of the rules of the sport that you play. You got one more year to set yourself up. Now, Isaiah Pacheco is never going to make the huge bag. He ain't getting Saquon Barkley's contract. But Could Isaiah Pacheco get 2 years for $8 million somewhere next year? Could he get 2 for $12 somewhere next year? Sure, he got to ball out this upcoming season. So I feel pretty good about Isaiah Pacheco, but I still want them to go get another running back. Number one, I think Isaiah Pacheco is fine. I think Isaiah Pacheco is a strong 1B or number 2 running back on most teams that have an established guy. So I'm perfectly fine with Isaiah Pacheco coming back next year as your 1B, number 2 running back on your team. What I will continue to bang the drum for, and I'm telling you, you guys are going to be tired of me saying this year. They need to get more explosive. Last year, the Chiefs had the fewest rush attempts that went over 20 yards of any team in the National Football League. They did not have any explosiveness in their offense. They were bad on deep passes. That is not an opinion. That is a fact by almost every metric that they were bad on deep passes and they had no explosion in the running game. All right. Well, this season, that's why I've been so big on younger and explosive. They had 2 runs last year from a running back that went over 20 yards. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. Go find some explosiveness. Find it in the pass game. Find it in the run game. And coming up in 23 days, the draft is in 23 Michael Jordan, 23 days. You need to find a home run hitter in the draft. And home run hitter is varying degrees. You don't have to go find Aaron Judge or prime Barry Bonds or Sammy Sosa. I'm not saying you got to find a top 5 running back in the league. No. Do you guys think the Chiefs have a top 20 running back in the league on their team right now? A top 20. Do they have a top 25 running back in the league on their team right now? I think the answer is no. Well, there's going to be at least 3 of those guys in this year's NFL draft. I think there's going to be 1 or 2 of those guys that don't get picked in round 1. Sure, Hampton from North Carolina is going to get drafted high. Ashton Genty's going to get drafted high. I think there's going to be a Ollie Gordon, a Devin Neal, a DJ Giddens. There's going to be a couple of those backs that end up being really, really productive. Find one of them. Find some explosiveness in your run game. I will continue to be on that side. I will continue to feel this way. Explosive plays from your offense come from explosive players. And I don't think that Patrick Mahomes, who is in the prime of his career, I don't think that he got less explosive. I think the parts around him did. And I think that last year you expected him to keep putting up MVP numbers, even though you gave him the worst run game that he's had in his career, the worst offensive line that he's had in his career, the worst version of Travis Kelce that he's had in his career, and probably the 21st best wide receiver room last season. I mean, their wide receiver room was not great after all the injuries happened. I just don't know how you can expect to have an explosive offense if that's the case.
Let me ask you this. And it definitely is impossible for your answer. But everything the Chiefs have done or said this offseason, they feel like they're in a good spot. They brought back Kareem Hunt, who last year was not good by any metric. He wasn't bad. I'm not saying he was a bad player. He just wasn't good. He was just fine.
He was fine. Yeah, I'm with you.
They brought him back. They brought in Elijah Mitchell on the first day of free agency. Now, remember, Twitter was down that day, so I think it was technically the second move of free agency.
Yeah, they didn't really pay it. They didn't pay him a whole lot of money. Yeah.
They clearly were targeting him early because they got him done the day tampering ended. So they did that. And now Andy Reid is speaking to the media down in sunny Florida at the owners' meetings, and he's talking up Isaiah Pacheco. They're talking about, we knew he'd come back less than 100%. That's just his character, but we expect big things in 2025. Don't their actions and words sound like and act like a group that isn't going to be targeting a running back at a premium time in this draft? Maybe they find the next Pacheco in the 7th round. Maybe it's whomever. But
I hope that they're swinging bigger than having Isaiah Pacheco. And I like Isaiah Pacheco. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, haven't you think we needed a running back? Yeah, I do think they need a running back. I think Isaiah Pacheco is a number 2, and it's not a bad thing. In the NFL, with the way that teams handle running backs, having a really good back that you trust to get you 150 to 175 carries, that is not a bad thing to happen. But we've seen 3 years of Isaiah Pacheco as a team's number one running back. He's never run for 1,000 yards, and he basically missed last season with an injury. I know he played. He had 83 carries and had 300 yards last year. And it was noticeable he was not healthy at any point last season. Isaiah Pacheco cannot be your number one running back. He cannot be. He's not good enough to be your number one running back. So find one in this year's draft class. Find one. I hear you guys tell me all the time about how your number one objective is to make Pat's life easy and protect Patrick Mahomes. When Rob and I say, well, hey, maybe you should get rid of Trey Smith. No, you got to protect Pat. You know the best way to protect Patrick Mahomes? Hand the football off to a good running back. You don't get hit if you hand the ball off. You don't get sacked. You don't run and twist your ankle. You know what you do? Hut, hike, and you turn around and you hand it to a running back, and then he runs for 6 yards. It's great. The best versions of the Chiefs' offense has been with some capability of them running the football. I'm not saying you got to find Saquon Barkley in this draft. I'm not. Can they find James Conner in this draft? Rob, you're a college football fan. Is James Conner in this draft class?
I mean, there are a lot of James Connors in this draft class. Ollie Gordon feels like James Conner.
Give me him. I'll take him.
Trayvon Henderson might be better than James Conner.
I would love James Conner in this draft class. Do you think that Bucky Irving is in this draft class?
Probably.
Okay. Because I'm just saying, is James Conner the last 2 seasons has run for over 1,000 yards, and he had 5 yards a carry in 2023 and had 4.6 yards per carry in 2024 and had 8 touchdowns and 7 touchdowns. And none of us are calling James Conner a top 10 back in the league. Go draft James Conner.
Let me ask you this. If they find their Bucky Irving, how much playing time is available for him? Because that's my point earlier. Their actions and words make it sound like we got our 3. Because you don't really need to carry a running back room of 5 or 6. It's not a position you do that at. If they found Bucky Irving in round 5, let's just say it's DJ Giddens. I'll pick a K-State guy.
I would love Bucky Irving.
Let's say it's DJ Giddens. How much run is DJ Giddens going to get with this team? Do you think DJ Giddens gets on the field before Kareem Hunt?
Yes,
probably not.
I do.
The way Andy Reid prefers guys who, and I'm quoting here, know the system, I would bet you that Andy Reid early going would prefer Kareem Hunt. And I bet Pacheco is going to get the run early going. Like, I hear what you're saying, and I actually agree with you. I just worry that that's an already full room, and adding a rookie is more, hey, we're looking at 2026 type of energy, which I wouldn't like, but I think that could be coming down the pipe.
Yeah, but where I think I would disagree with you is Andy's never shown that with a running back. Sure, we can find some wide receiver examples, but, I mean, they gave a 7th-round rookie, Isaiah Pacheco, they gave him 170 carries when he was a rookie. They gave Clyde Edwards-Helaire carries when he was a rookie. They gave Kareem Hunt was their number 1 running back when they were a rookie. They've never shown that they won't use rookie running backs. Now, sure, Giddens got to prove it on the field, got to be healthy. In this analogy, go through training camp. Yeah, all of those things, but they've never slow played a rookie for the second half of the season the way they have at wide receiver. So, yeah, if you go draft Ollie Gordon in the 4th round, I think that Ollie Gordon is the best running back on their team then. So I expect him to get the touches. You've got the rookie as your number 1. You've got Pacheco as a pretty strong number 2. You got your change of pace, short yardage running back when it comes to Kareem Hunt. And I'm assuming Elijah Mitchell is a break in case of emergency if an injury happens, and you pop in and we'll see if you can help. That's how I would play the Chiefs running back room if I'm them. But I will continue to maintain they need pop in their offense. Text line 913-586-7965. CDOT, no back is getting 1,000 yards in this offense. They don't run it enough. I don't know how many times I have to tell you guys that's not true. Last year, Kareem Hunt had 6 fewer carries than James Cook did. He had 6. He had 6 fewer yards than James Cook. You guys saw James Cook. He ran for 1,000 yards last year on 200 carries. James Cook had 207 carries last year, ran for 1,000 yards and 5 yards a carry. They gave Kareem Hunt 200 carries, and he got less than 800 yards. They run the ball enough to get a 1,000-yard running back. They just don't have good running backs. They don't have good ones. Yes, they do run it enough. We spend our time arguing if getting 3.6 yards per carry is good. That was good for 47th in the NFL last year on players that qualified. If they could just get what Kareem Hunt did to 4.6, he would have went from 47th in yards per carry last year to 14th. That's the difference in adding 1 yard per carry more. You go from out of 50 running backs that qualify, you're 47th to 14th. By just being a 4.6 yard per carry back. They can find that back in this year's draft class. They can find them. That's the team I'm on. Rob, shout out Baker University real quick, please.
The hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
All right, we'll be back tomorrow after the Royals day game. They play at noon tomorrow. We'll probably be on around 3:30, 4 o'clock tomorrow. All right, see you guys then. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by